Conspiracy Streets podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of Conspiracy Streets podcast. I'm your boy Castro. As with me always, my partner Maxwell, and today we got a special guest. We got the creators of Shmackwich. We have Jordan, we got CB, and we got Pascal Pix, OG Pops. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, go by Jordan. I call myself the MD of NYC, MD being short for Master of the Hotel. I kind of just consider myself a point guard in any room that I'm in. You know, I like directing people, introducing myself, kind of getting the flow going. But that's me in a nutshell.
Could definitely attest to that. CB?
I'm Sibby. I'm Chef Sib. I don't know. I can't really say as much as Jordan said, but I'm here for a good time. Make some good food.
Yeah, Sib, come on, you're the master of.
I know. I'm just like
He's humble, fellas. He's humble.
Yeah, but just out here trying to create some amazing meals for people. Just create great vibes with my homies. It's the best. So it's been a great adventure. And I'm glad that we're here now.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Pops?
Well, me coming in Bronx to support the young blood of all of you, the new generation. The Pascal picks is like my picks of really, what's my picks in term of what's the best in term of food, in term of vibes, in term of so that's it's always great to be among the youth, the new generation. And to be here in the Bronx today, and we're going to talk about lifestyle. And the new generation. What are you guys going to do? What do you have in a set for us? That's fantastic.
That sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's funny. He's always been our vision board, or our steel that sharpens us, because he'll be know how when we came up it was this way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and that's what we used to be all right, well then how do we get over that hurdle or surpass that?
Gotcha.
Definitely keeps us on our toes. I would say, yes. On point.
Yeah, we could have had a 10 out of 10 night, sold thousands in food, and he'll be like, all right guys, I saw this was missing, we could have done that better. And it's okay, cool.
There's always room for improvement.
That's the man after my heart, man. I got raised that way. I work my old man too.
Yes.
So bro, they'd say, yeah, you did this right, but next time. Or you got it easy, because for your generation you guys use and I hear it all the time, man, and honestly it makes me a beast, so I get it. It makes you way better at your craft.
It's important. You gotta have the experience of steel sharpening steel.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a whole thing about just keeping you honest. It's good to actually do right after, because you kind of don't get lost.
Yeah, you don't get hyped. Overly hyped will kind of put you in a bad place. No, I agree.
Yeah. It's also people always tell you to be around like-minded people.
Yeah.
But I think that's counter. It's I need somebody that doesn't view this how I view this.
Exactly.
To pull me out of my head and be you're not thinking about this.
Yeah. You don't ever want to live in a vacuum.
As creators, do you find it now that, are you the types that the pushback does a lot more for you on the beneficial side than one of the parts that seems antagonistic? Sometimes people just hate to hate. So it's kind of you become deaf to hearing it, but when you can actually soak something in and it does want you to, it motivates you then to aspire to do better. You ever hear something at the end of a night you could have did this, and you're next time I am going to do this. This is my game plan.
It's multi-layered, because a lot of the times we take commentary for people, and it's, I think, the same as any sports professional or anything else like that, telling you that I know it looks easy sitting on the bench over there, but on this court it's a little bit different, and it doesn't come off that way. That being said, I think something that we've all come to grips with as a culture, as a group, is that we gotta always be okay with getting better. We ain't shit. And I say that humbly. I say that as a good thing. For me, it's if we got this much success and I feel like we ain't shit yet, then we're only gonna do better.
Yes. Because, aspiration. You never. There's a term that when people reach a certain status, especially it comes with seniority in the field that I'm in, when you reach a certain point of contentment, your drive dies.
Yeah.
So I've always said I was never going to be one of those people who became content in certain aspects, because at that point you become dull steel.
Yeah, facts. Like, it's definitely important. Like, honestly, I don't even consider people that are like haters to be haters. Like, honestly, they just have a difference of opinion. Like, they're kind of just like the people that just like, you know what? Instead of saying yes, like everybody's saying, I'm gonna give an honest critique. Because you think about it, these people don't think that they're haters, right? Unless that they're really just like hating. But still, there's so many experiences that we've had, right? Like where haters come through and they want to like shit on it, right? Like I had this this one time where we were introducing, I think it was the ham and cheese sandwich, right? And then I put the, you know, I told this table about it. You know, they were like, "Oh, is there anything else?" I was like, "We have a ham and cheese sandwich." I told them the price or whatever. They was like, "Damn, that much for ham and cheese?" I was like, "Listen, it's a really good sandwich." You know, I broke everything down. I was like, "If you don't like it,
It's free.
It's free. You can have it, whatever you want, right?" And then, you know, made the sandwich, gave it to Shorty. Like, she was mad extra, like, "Oh, I don't know, blah, 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 oh, no." But then, like, if she had it, I came back, I was like, "Yo, how was it?" They was like, "Yo, bro, it's, like, the most amazing fucking sandwich I've had." So it's like, you got to meet these people still with, like, they challenge you, you know? It's like a challenge. It's not really hate, you know?
Yeah, I would say those are the people that, like,
That's what I love
we want
about
to
it.
become
I like
better,
that.
we need to run towards them.
I like that.
Like, you're going to make me better. Come here, let me deal with you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, even
I like that, dude. That is a great way of looking at it. Yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah, like
Very
there's mad
nice.
people that try to like say stuff on like our like, you know, like when we do posts and stuff like that, if we have like a food reviewer come through and they're like, "Oh, y'all gentrifying the chopped cheese. I can't believe it." I'm like, bro, like,
Yo.
it's not even, there's no way it's gentrifying the chopped cheese because I'm from New York, right?
Yeah.
You know
So
what I
it's
mean?
cool when Yemen steals it. From
Yeah.
So when the country of Yemen takes all of the Brishon from Harlem and sends it back to Yemen, that's all right.
Yeah.
But when us born and raised New Yorkers take it, hire New Yorkers,
Exactly.
feed you food that do not kill you,
Yes.
and change your brain chemistry, etc., and throw events to give back to the city,
Let's go.
we the gentrifiers.
Yeah,
Yo.
that makes zero sense.
Heard you.
No, that makes total sense. Don't you get it? Come
Good.
on,
I'm
bro.
glad that you hit those
It's like
topics
gentrifying is
specifically.
becoming synonymous with making things bad, like better in a
Better.
bad way.
No, because I can give
Listen.
you a modern same scenario of what gentrification does, and it fails.
Yes.
And I wanted to bring this up the minute we got into the whole thing because I do want the origin story behind the sandwich, behind the name, behind the development. But there's something I just wanted to outright say. As far as gentrification is going with the chopped cheese, no. There's gentrification. We work on First Avenue. And here's the finest example. East Side, Manhattan. My first chopped cheese, 2010, Uptown, 96th Street. Well, they got across from the projects where Mount Sinai is.
Yeah.
Amazing. Been a part of my thing since. Never have I experienced it in the lower numbers. It's just not something I've come across. As of recent, because of the populace of the sandwich, they start putting it in places where you would never mentally associate a chopped cheese.
Yeah,
Bro,
yeah.
there's a chopped cheese across. They sell a chopped cheese across the street from the funeral home on what is it, 14th Street? Or no, 23rd Street. The one the one
Reddings?
Reddings across
That's
from
14th,
That's
yeah.
They sell chopped cheese there. I only know because Nana has went and got a chopped cheese with barbecue sauce, which I find so disrespectful to the chopped cheese. But he eats because he doesn't really eat sandwiches, you know,
Yeah.
like with mayonnaise or anything like that. So it's like barbecue is his condiment.
Heard.
So, but that's how I know. He went in there to go get a sandwich and he came out with a chopped cheese. I was like,
Was it good?
I'm not gonna lie. The first time he got it, I found it good. The second time he got it, I didn't find it that good.
Well, let me explain to you.
Maybe
spot
it was
on-
the chef.
The spot on the east side by the job, they put that sign up, "We now serve chopped cheese." The inner child in me was like, great, this is what I want for my lunch.
Yeah.
I'd never been more let down. Like, just calling it a chop, it was just the most offensive. The meat had no flavor. They were like, we use two types of cheese. Somehow we're both bland. The pepper to onion ratio didn't even add flavor. Like, dude, it was a dry sandwich. I covered it in hot sauce and bodied it. Was heartbroken.
How much was it?
$13.
$13. Right?
$13.
All right, and that's the huge part of the breakdown for us. You had a D-grade beef patty. That cow has been dead for over a year. He's been transferred through different meat lockers, warehouses. He ended up at the Ox for low cost from Jethro. They took it, they threw it on the same grill that they've cooked 60 different meats on. They chopped it up with onions and peppers that they hide behind the counter for a reason. Goya seasoning packet, adobo. They probably fucked your blood pressure up.
I wish. There was no flavor.
That's
They
the
didn't
part
even
of the
go
steps
that
right
far.
there.
I'd have been fine with that.
See, because we'll come back to that because like we respected the recipe too. Although we completely flipped every single ingredient and the quality of it, it's what a fucking chopped cheese is supposed to be.
Talk about it.
I've never seen an Ak not take a Goya seasoning packet or the red, what is it, the achijote?
Yeah,
that's what gives it that color.
Yeah.
Our color comes from Wagyu fat.
Yeah.
And you know, a spice blend that Chef Sibi makes.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's get from the origin.
Yeah, because I'm sorry, I just gotta say, like, y'all cool paying $13 for that.
Let's not make it a witch hunt on chopped cheese.
$13 for that. That's crazy.
Let's not make it a witch hunt on chopped cheese.
No, I disagree. I think that selling something by name without it having any remnants of the original thing is a problem, and that is gentrification to me.
Yeah.
Modifying something, making it of higher quality, and bettering it, not gentrification.
Just quickly, they have
two. That's not a stealing.
They have a chopped cheese truck in LA, bro.
Yeah, so we know the people that's behind that, and we can get into that too.
Those are the homies.
But those are the homies. Like we respect that movement.
All right.
All right. So
origin story.
What it's becoming though is becoming that chopped cheese needs to be associated with like
Flavor.
No, like cheap, it's like connotated with being cheap. Right?
yes.
So it's just
supposed to be a $5-6 sandwich.
And like I don't like that because like it just implies that the hood is supposed to be synonymous with being cheap, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when like I feel like mostly it's not even the ingredients that we're using, it's the price that we're selling it at. And that's what makes it like into this like kind of weird, like kind of like, oh, I don't know if we could do the Wagyu chopped cheese, y'all gentrifying it because like it's associated with price.
But they don't have no problem going to Roof Chris and paying
Exactly.
$30 for a bowl of mac and cheese that's mid at best.
Yeah.
Bro, bacon, egg, and cheeses now are in the $8-9 range. Let's not talk about like that's the part I don't understand.
I paid $8.99 for a BLT the other day.
Like, the product that we're actually like. Not to say that we're losing money, but like we could be charged more. We should be charging more.
Of course,
we're offering it at a price where it's just like it's not alienating to people. You know what I mean? Like people could still come through and cop it. You know what I mean? And now we have two sizes. We got the little boy, we got the big boy. You know what I'm saying? So
because we do want you to feel like a little boy if you ordered a little boy.
No shame. Maybe
no tea. All right. So how did y'all start, and why the chopped cheese?
All right, where you gonna?
You can pick which one of the.
Chime in after Instagram.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
I mean, literally. So our third partner isn't here, Mitty, right? He's the one.
Shout out to Mitty. Shout out to Mitty.
Mr. Sax Fifth, his birthday on Monday. You know, he's going a little hard this weekend. That's why he couldn't
respect.
Make it, you know, he's at home with the IV in the arm right now. But it was the pandemic. Me and Sib specifically are in hospitality, so all of the restaurants were shut down. Nobody was working. We were all out of work. Mitty owned a studio in downtown Brooklyn, so we would meet up just to fucking go smoke and talk shit and whatever. Yeah. But being as that it was the pandemic and the times were what they were, it was like, yo, which eighth are we splitting? You know, how are we splitting this cab back home tonight? Who's sending who? Oh, you got it last week. We're gonna get it this week. So it was like, all right, you know, let's do something. Let's get a little bread going. In between that time, a little bit before, like I've just always been a fan of like playing with food and like, you know, making sandwiches. Matter of fact, I do want to pay the correct ode and respect. What started this whole idea for me was Stoned NYC and Pizza Pusher.
Respect.
I remember seeing him on the AM news and like 5-6 years ago, like way before legalization, and he's in a newspaper and it's noted that he's selling cannabis-infused pizza, garlic knots, and soda. Yeah. And I'm like, cool, that's fire. You don't understand potheads because I don't have $60 for a pizza, 20 for garlic knots, 10. Let me do a cannabis-infused sandwich at like the $20 to $30 range, and I'll make bangs all day. And, you know, that'll kind of like propel me into a movement that I felt was coming, legalization in New York. So when you smoke weed in New York, what are you? You're schmacked.
Yeah.
Shmackwich. It was that simple. I went on Instagram. I saw the handle was available. Website was available. Twitter, I was like, this was far too serendipitous.
It was fake.
Yo, let's go.
Was meant to do this, right? Mitty introduces me and Sib to each other. We've all had run-ins like in the years before that. Like it seemed it was leading up to that moment. But yes, Sib, I mean, I'll let him get into it, but because he was a chef, had this relationship that existed already and I'll let him explain like how he kind of like propelled it, from there, and how it came to be birthed in the first place.
Yeah, so pretty much just like a little bit before, like I guess the summertime, like during COVID, like the homies from Heritage, Patrick Martins, used to like come, like drop off care packages. There was this like shortages and like meat and stuff like that, and like, Purdue and Tyson and like all these companies were about to like start shutting their doors. So like Heritage Foods was one of the people that never stopped. Like they were just like they had like an online, at your home kind of situation going on. So he used to come through and like drop off like packs of like pork and like ham and all types of stuff, lamb, like all types of stuff, right? One weekend he came through, like it was probably before like Memorial Day. He came through with the Wagyu burgers. I was just like, oh shit, Wagyu burgers. I didn't even like think of it, it was just like, yeah, Wagyu burgers. So it's like we had a barbecue that weekend at the homie's crib. We had some lobster and like the burgers. We ate all that stuff, but we had one more pack of burgers left, and we came home at like 3:00 in the morning. No stores open. So during pandemic, no stores open. And we had like some cheese, and we got back to the crib and we was just like, yo, like we should just make a Wagyu chopped cheese, right? So that was just like the first moment. It was like me and Mitty hanging out, like, yo, we should make a Wagyu chopped cheese. It's like, all right, cool, Wagyu chopped cheese, fun. You know what I'm saying? And fast forward now, I go to Portland, you know what I mean? Like we all kind of like start going back to work. Jordan gets back into Balthazar, all that stuff. And then we were just like, yo, like, let's figure this out, right? And then like Jordan had one idea for a sandwich, which was great. But I was like, yo, we need to do the Wagyu chopped cheese. Like we should just do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's just do the Wagyu chopped cheese. And he was like, all right, cool. Like we took a vote, like how we always do. Like, okay, Wagyu chopped cheese is having a moment. You know what I'm saying? Then we just like pretty much just like figured out the best way to make it. You know what I mean? So it's just like not just like the run of the mill ingredients. Like, okay, it's good to have Wagyu, but are we gonna then have like cheese
Everything
from
else.
Boar's Head? You know what I'm saying? From the deli? Nah, we can't do that. Are we just gonna use like a like a regular hero? You know what I mean? Is that gonna really help the meat to shine? Like so So we went through this whole process of just like figuring out and essentially designing the sandwich to be the best tasting sandwich that you could ever have, right? And also without it being like, infused, because we had like a whole thing like, oh, should we do the infusion? Should we do this? It's like, nah, we're going to be able to like reach.
Yeah, Chef walked it back a little bit. It was like, it wasn't legal just yet. I was rolling hot. I was like, no, we got to do cannabis infused. It was like, hold on, let's get out here like on the regular wave and like actually have a business, which is intelligent. That's when you kind of have to like break out of like your
I get it.
mannerisms and upbringing. And
but understanding the fact that there's an option for a infused version of it,
off menu.
Once again, just knowing that that's out there is going to take any fan of it now and be like, oh, word, for an extra word. All right,
it's definitely a bigger schlop.
Yeah, people gonna ask you how you doing. You're gonna be like, I'm Shmack.
Where you coming from?
But mostly it was like the pop-up that was a good formula, because the pop-up was like for them, when I followed them, I was like making delivery for them sometime in Brooklyn. The first one we did in Brooklyn.
Okay. This is true.
You deliver some sandwich over there, but what the formula that they made was like, which was innovative as a hospitality basically gear, was like, the fact that you could do a pop-up and not pay rent. And all the places were closed, so that was the part of their formula.
Yeah. Okay.
Other than basically applying a new twist, a French twist, I would say, because that was like first their formula was like the spice that the Jamaican chef over there, CB, would infuse, and and Jordan being like the maître d', and like doing elevating, and Midi, of course, Midi is like is
is the soul.
Biggie reincarnated, from Brooklyn over there. And but the pop-up was an interesting formula, because the pandemic really was like, open up a can of worms, really in New York City, in the restaurant scene. And that's what made them so popular, because the chopped cheese is very popular.
Yes.
It's cheap. It's supposed to be cheap. It's like the people sandwich, right? It's like the hot dog.
Yeah.
A hot dog cart, you
The
get
common
it's
man
like part of
sandwich.
New York.
Yeah, but do you know how much a hot dog costs in New York nowadays? And that's the whole thing. It's like
How much does a hot dog cost?
$5.
$5.
Yeah, but
$5.
that's
$5
At the stand?
Yeah.
Yes,
Stand,
for a
yeah.
regular New York City hot dog.
Yeah.
Hot dog.
Yo, now I understand why sleepers took the shopping cart. Took the
Yeah.
cart and threw it down
Yeah,
the
and they threw it
stairs.
down the stairs.
Facts.
I'm not having that either.
They had a
Sounds
premonition,
crazy.
they knew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. They had premonitions.
In the spirit of like, if anybody's watching this trying to like emulate their own thing, I do want to say like, just as far as like respecting the timeline of how it happened, I feel like our brand identity and success is synonymous with pop-ups and collaboration. Absolutely, that's what we've
Right, absolutely.
that's
That's
what
what it's
we've
really
centered
about.
with our existence. Is that
Correct.
if we're not working with New York, you know, because I'm tired of hearing that like only Atlanta does that. I feel like New York does that too.
Facts.
We just like, you know, we together like.
Yeah, it's different though.
It's a whole different like topic of conversation, but I
Yeah.
did want to bring back to the fact that we put in a meeting to 2 a week for about 3 months before we ever dropped the first sandwich.
Yeah, exactly. We
spoke
spent
about
time
absolutely
crafting
everything. We like decided what kind of like culture we wanted to develop and business plans we wanted to like model and mirror, and that's how collaborations came apart. Like it wasn't like a serendipitous thing. It was thoughtful and it was purposeful. Like we saw Supreme,
Facts.
and we're like, Supreme's success is not like, do you know who the designer of Supreme is?
No.
No. Do you know who's like making clothes for them? And is that the big deal? No, it's their collaborative reach.
Yeah, it's the
That's
collaborative.
why
Exclusivity.
And just their brand of how they made their name.
They're
And
themselves. They don't give a fuck.
yeah. They went, it started out as just a skateboard company.
They don't increase par. They don't order more shit 'cause
No.
you want it. Like, yo,
Nah.
it's for the people.
It is what it
that's
is.
part of the people.
Yeah, you get it if you get it. If you're
Come
not,
get
you
it.
don't get it.
As I said,
Facts.
man, the exclusivity to having your own cult following is a big deal because it allows you to just be yourself.
Yeah,
So the guys
exactly.
moving forward. So all right, so you guys started breaking down the way that you guys were coming together as far as better ingredients and stuff. Obviously, there's knowledge behind what that is, right? Because I couldn't tell you, like, you said boar's head, and I was like, oh, boar's head is fancy. But from the way that you said it, I'm like, boar's head's not fancy. Boar's head is clearly
Yeah,
like,
so it's like-
No, but Boar's Head is supermarket fancy.
well, that's what I'm saying. Well, I don't have a background. So where's the culinary background on that coming from?
Don't
like,
get me wrong, Boar's Head is amazing, right? For what it is. Like, honestly, like, I was born and bred on Boar's Head.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, school trips, like, you know, when you got a little extra breach, like, let me cop a little sandwich, a little special, even after school.
$3.50 for the
You know
hero.
what I mean?
Yep.
Like the $3.50 with for the hero and the soda, maybe the bag of chips going there, you know. So shout outs to Boar's Head. Like, you know, they definitely brought us there. But still, like, for me, like, I would say as a chef, the way that I've kind of like developed myself is just like to be very thoughtful about like what's going into the sandwich, right? Because it's just like you could even get Wagyu from like a provider that's not, you know, that's not responsible. They're not like treating the animals well. They're not like feeding them the right diet. You know, all of these different things. Like, you know, it could be just like sitting in like, you know, a locker, like a freezer locker or whatever, for like weeks until they even like
So
get to it.
the point of Wagyu is basically the freshness of basically how they are grown and fed, and then also the freshness of how they're kept after.
It's really about the breed of animal, right? So essentially, Wagyu is the same as it's like Kobe, right? Like, but Kobe is like is a region in Japan, but like all, I guess, like Japanese beef technically is Wagyu,
Okay.
right? But then like we have a specific Wagyu that was like brought over from Japan into America, so it's just like one of the only breeds that were brought from Japan into America. So technically, that's the only way it could be considered to be Wagyu is if you're from this lineage of like Japanese cows that are
Gotcha.
Wagyu cows. You know, and then also the characteristics are just like, you know, the marbling for one, which is like the fat content within the protein, like all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then also
They're
just
kind
like,
of fat though.
yeah, the kind of fats, of course, yeah. But like, you know, it's like that also is determined by their diet, the way that their fats like develop as opposed to like a regular cow, you know, like
Heritage acknowledges a cycle that not a lot of people are aware of.
right.
What that animal has eaten, you will then eat, you will then become.
Right.
That it's really that simple. So like there's nothing wrong with boar's heads, meat and cheese outside of the fact that they know it's gonna sit in a deli for a little while. They're putting in preservatives into it.
Yeah,
They're putting
exactly.
in chemicals into
I was
it.
gonna ask about that. I was
And
like the
we don't have to do that because we have something that we anticipate being available to those who want it. If we sell out, we sell out because we're not gonna cheapen ourselves and your experience by getting something with preservatives in it. Like that's why we get fresh cheese, because we use it now. There's no chemicals in it that alter your brain chemistry. Like that's the whole thing as far as like, see, Sibby's one of the first people I ever spoke to about like issues within the community as far as like understanding what systematic oppression actually is, and it's not just like jails and police. It's down to the molecular level of food. It's what can you get on EBT? You know,
let's fucking go.
Cheeses,
juicy
meats,
juice,
candies, juices, all these things that literally fill your body with poison. But the answer isn't just to tell people that when they have no options. You give them an option.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's what Sibby's like.
Let's fucking go, dude.
And that's what the aim for for Shmackwich is. You know, like, you know, I know sometimes we say like, you know, put designer in your body. You know, we wear designer clothes, like, you know. So you're gonna want to be able to like eat designer level like food, right? Because like that's like the next frontier. It's just like, if you're gonna like be, you know, making sure you have the best kicks, make sure you have the best drip, everything is like, you know, on point. Yeah, so make sure you could also like feed yourself. You know,
how dare you eat a honey bun for dinner with a Miri's on?
Yeah, and it's like it's a sad reality for sure. But like that's why you know, that's
talk about it.
What we do, like, because like we definitely do give back all the time. You know what I mean? Like we've done Supreme, like, you know, a couple of Supreme like skate park openings like in the hood and stuff like that. We've gone to like LaSalle Academy. We've gone to like a bunch of different schools, you know, working together with like Kicking Knowledge, like, you know, bringing the kids through for like their field day trip. So, you know, yeah, we're charging a certain price, but that's also so that we can be able to give back.
It propels so much that you
like,
don't know about.
I'll tell you, the first thing I saw when I went on the IG, just so I had like quick reference things, you could see how the flow is. Also, you guys are definitely touted by a lot of like people who I didn't even know were foodies. I had seen them once I seen them on your video, I was like, oh, that's what that guy does? Okay, this makes sense now. The biggest thing that kind of caught me as I was going through the reels were the school trips thing. Because like, and then also the explanation that came with it, because you could tell it was written very heartfelt. Like, yo, we just want to show people that like, yo, you could do this too. You start at a young age. All the kids are eating. They're seeing a startup business that's showing you, just like you said, you don't got to pay rent, but you set up shop, sell out, keep it moving.
Exactly.
And guess what you do? The people who like the brand, people who fall in love with the whole idea behind it are going to motivate you, and you're going to keep propelling. You can kind of keep going.
Exactly.
And it just shows you also too, you don't have to commit to anything like, yo, you like this retail space? We could be gone the next week.
You know what you're paying for when you pay rent? Complacency. You're literally you're paying and you're receiving a comfort where you think like, you know what? I paid my due to my business. I don't need to look outwardly at all. Or if you work to kind of do like this, I want to call it the most New York business-minded like plan you can have. You look for a way to do something else. You constantly looking how to flip it, remix it. Who am I going to collab with? Who am I going to work with? Oh, you throwing a party next weekend? Somebody doing your food and drinks? Like,
yo, the hustle.
Half of our events has been Mitty telling people that like have these budgets for parties. He literally asks after the fact, like, yo, who's doing your bar? Oh, we didn't have a bar. You should let us do your bar.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm talking about. Let's
here's
go.
Our deck. This is what we do.
Yeah.
Let's fucking
Mitty,
go.
Mitty is good at that. Mitty is a good marketer. He's a good talker. He can talk you out of your pants, bro. He's a good. He's like the epitome Brooklyn dude.
Yeah, don't give him and you're gonna buy that mixtape on
definitely. He got the gift of gab. Definitely has the gift of gab.
Bro, he's the first one that told me like he's like drunk conversations with Mitty are the best because he really gets into his like, all right, Shaolin, I'm the teacher right now.
Let's go.
Right? He's like, Jordan, when people ask you, yo, if you need anything, let me know. Press that button right away. Like, yeah, I need something.
Yeah, no, closed mouths don't get fed, bro.
Find out right away, like if their money is where their mouth is.
Yep,
right away.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's a good way of putting it. That's definitely a good way of putting it. Segueing a little bit, talking about the pop-ups and the way the reach has gotten. I remember when the first couple of pop-ups, you had Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats pop up to one, correct?
Yeah, so that connection definitely comes through Sibby. I think I'll let her get into it, but it was like our first, I want to say that was our coming out, where like we all looked at each other in that room and we were like, you know, this is going to be something, you know, while like Shmackwich in of itself, like that's Vashti was the DJ, Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats had, I think we're special guests or partners or honoring Alvaro Barrington, who has been like a huge behind the scenes, I want to say, benefactor, like, to the whole movement, to its existence. Like, I mean, he's always believed in Sib specifically, and then us through introduction, and he in of himself embodies what we kind of are, in that he's an artist, but he's super conscientious and he gives back.
That's dope.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Sib definitely explain it more.
Oh yeah, well, it was just like one of our like first major like catering events that we did. It was homie Alvaro. He was like pretty much just like having a homecoming. Like he's from Flatbush. He had been out in London and throughout Europe for a while, like building his name and stuff like that. And he came back to New York, and yeah, we just did it. We did an event for him. It was at the Nicola Vassi
The building
gallery.
name? Oh yeah,
That was the gallery opening. She was like one of the first like female black like gallery owners in the Chelsea area. So
Okay,
it's like
fire.
really major, for that whole thing. And like I think she worked with like Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys. I think that they went to the show and then they came to the after party after.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like I think like cause his brother was there and stuff like that. So it's like kind of just like that whole kind of like Harlem World, New York.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I definitely. Once I saw that, because I've known Jordan. Jordan is my little brother's one of his best friends, and so I know him for years. And once I seen that, like I've always been paid attention to what you guys were doing,
Yeah.
through Jordan and stuff. And when I saw that, I hit him up. I was like, "Yo, y'all doing it? Like this is for you to have."
That was major though. Like,
Yeah,
that
it's
was, like,
a
awesome.
celebrity of that caliber. Whether
Yeah,
they were
facts.
there specifically for your meal, they were
Yeah.
at an event where you guys were catering, and that's just a big look. And I feel like that should be,
No,
It's
Totally.
about being
flowers
in
for
the
that.
right room, and that room was looking nicer.
But I'm saying,
Exactly.
did they eat anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean I think they did. We did get them some food. I mean, the
Bet.
thing with that is that we did all the drinks, the bar, the service.
Yeah.
So regardless, they were served by
Yeah, they were
Shmackwich.
taken care of. That's what I'm saying. I just want to make sure they were taken care of. Yeah.
That's what was important for us too, as far as being known. It's like, yo, we're not no shade, no tea, and like to anybody that owns a food truck, but I feel like that would have been what killed us in our ambition as well. Is like, all right, here's a food truck. We sell sandwiches out of a truck.
Single faceted. I get
we've
it. Yeah.
become hospitable. We create whole vibes. Since then, we've been booked. We've been booked for events where we didn't do no food, no drink. We set the vibes. We got the DJs. We set the room. Like, we curated. We're creating a brand.
That's fine.
Right, yeah.
Shmackwich is a brand. We are not a sandwich. It is not a sandwich company. We are a brand, and we like using food as our vehicle because everybody
Exactly.
needs to eat.
Of
Right,
course,
let's go.
everybody needs to eat. You're right.
Yeah. And that's what it is though, really. It's just like it's more than just like food. It's more than just like, it's more than just like making money. Like we're here, like we're creating like a whole vibe. Because that was the whole point of us, even when we decided to like go forward, like at the point where we decided to start, like having like a culinary concept was at the moment where you should not be having a culinary concept. That was before restaurants were considered to be like, what was it? What were they calling it?
I was just thinking of the word too. Essential workers. Yeah.
Essential workers.
businesses.
Yeah.
It was just like pretty much just like I was like for the first time ever, like as a chef, like I was home for like 2 months straight. Like I didn't have anything to do. Like I was like, what am I gonna do with myself? Like after a while, I was just like, shit, I need to start cooking food again. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like it was like all of those moments, and like there were times like when we were all on the phone together, we were like, yo, bro, like what are we gonna do? Like they got us right now, bro. And we were just like, nah, like we gotta like keep it moving. Like this is the time now to keep it moving. Like you can't just like stop and be like, ah, damn, like they say that we can't do it. So
It was the realization that everybody's at home chilling. So
Yeah,
this is the
exactly.
perfect
It's
time.
the perfect time to get out there.
to be up doing shit,
You know?
because there's nobody outside. There's literally times when we were outside and there was nobody outside. Like you remember those times? Like
Yeah, it was ghost
nobody
town.
outside.
Looked
But
like
we were
I Am
outside
Legend.
Still, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like still outside.
It's a good
So
times.
it's just like that's the whole driving factor of it. It's just like whatever we need to do to pivot, you know what I mean? Like we could do it. Like we're not like pigeonholing ourselves to like one thing. Like yeah, we're doing a Wagyu chopped cheese, but that's just like a part of like what we're
Yeah,
doing.
that's just this.
You know what I
That's
mean?
how you
Like-
kick in the door.
Exactly.
That's it, yeah.
Like it's not even a kicking in, like, but I get what you mean. Like it's just like very subtle. Like, oh yeah, you're hungry. You need to
Yeah.
And people can be like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm gonna eat it. Oh, wagyu, chopped cheese.
Like,
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
And that's,
you know what I'm saying?
That's the important thing. That's why you got to come down. That's why you got to get to know us. That's why we invite the haters over. It's like, you think it's about us hitting you over the head with a wagyu chopped cheese. No. We're feeding your soul.
Exactly.
We're educating to you as to how important your dollar is and the choices that you have. And we're literally taking the people around you that you know and love, the creatives, the artists, and we're not stealing from them, running with it. We're collaborating with them and helping them grow their brand as well.
Not to mention paying it forward, man.
Yes.
Like I said, you guys are paying it forward in all different aspects. And that's like, I tell you, that to me was like the biggest thing because one, it's a hustle. Bro, y'all are out here. Like you're doing 6-7 different things. You're hustling. And you're also taking that time and taking that profit to push it forward to let it know it's like, yo, it's not about us. It's about everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
And that I fuck with. That's a movement in itself. I fuck with that. Because there's another thing to go ahead and tell people about it. But it's another thing, just like you said before, to introduce it and be like, yo, let me just show you. Yeah. So that's cool, man.
Now, I don't know if you guys would like to elaborate. We have discussed on the elevation of your chopped cheese. I don't know if it's a secret recipe, but if you guys maybe want to kind of elaborate on what's in your chopped cheese, maybe.
How fun was the trial and error? Yeah, how fun was that?
And that too.
Yeah, it was like
getting through it and actually perfecting it.
There's been like 20 different versions of it.
It still changes all the time, to be honest. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. The reason why, like, I really, really like fuck with this concept because there's so many other things that I want to do. I'm just like, nah, like, let's fuck it. Like, just keep the fucking chopped cheese. Like, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it always changes. It's just like, you know, even like, you know, everything is just like always something different, you know, but people are still like, yo, bro, this sandwich is amazing.
No,
so that's the consistency, is the fact that it's just like
I remember CB when I came to see you in Brooklyn at the first place and you showed me for the first time.
Yes.
You showed me the first time your secret sauce aioli that you did.
Oh, yeah.
You were very proud of it. You said, well,
yeah, so like okay, so that element of it, of course, like, you know, all the ingredients, like everything is made from scratch. Like, you know, we're not using like, you know, seasoning salt and, you know, all types of just like, you know, like, we're not using like Hellman's mayo. Like, we're making the mayo from scratch. You know, we're not like using ketchup. You know, we do roasted tomato aioli. You know, it's just like pretty much just like thinking of it in a way where it's just like, how could you flex on every single
ingredient of the chop
of this sandwich? You know what I'm saying? Every ingredient is a flex, right? So it's just like, boom, like the bread, like we always get the bread locally. So like it's literally made every morning whenever we get it. Like we're not getting bread that's like been sitting in a factory.
It's not coming out of a bag.
Yeah, you know,
like
it's not
the plastic bag with the 6-pack.
Yeah, you know, like right now where we're at Ali Ali, there's a bakery in there, which is like amazing. And we literally get like, you know, our baguettes. No, not our baguettes. Actually, we use ciabatta now, which is really amazing. Like it's literally coming from there like every morning. You know what I'm saying? Like we go in, the first thing we do is we pick up our order of bread and we go over to our, you know, over to our station.
That's
and, like,
amazing.
We set up. You know, the aioli, like everything is, you know, made from scratch. Like, you know, we got the cherry tomatoes, we roast them, the garlic, all the herbs and stuff like that. Make the mayo like with eggs. Like, you know, we have eggs in there, but it's just for making like our mayo.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and the mayo is made like every couple of days. It's not like, you know, sitting for like a week or anything like that. So we make like everything perfectly, like the spice pack, you know, it's like it's just like, you know, just like a bunch of like awesome like dried Mexican chilies, you know, just like the idea was to recreate like the Lowry's seasoning pack or like,
gotcha.
You know, so it's like the idea was to recreate that and like kind of get that feel. And then like, you know, I worked in Mexican cuisine for a while, so I learned a lot about like different chilies and stuff like that. Yeah, and just like, you know,
who would have known? The green, that's the thing. You have green peppers, they don't taste like nothing.
I was telling him earlier, I can testify to that.
You have poblano peppers, and like this is what put me onto. It's like there's smoky, there's crunch to them. Like it changes everything.
I'm gonna tell you, your sandwich is so good. I'm a guy that I don't eat onions and peppers in my chop, right? You know, when we were there, I ate about 3 or 4 of them. And I didn't notice until like the third one that it had onions and peppers in it. I was like, yo, this got onions and peppers in it. Can I get another one? Like, this is good. Like, the way you guys season and the way just everything is just put together. That's why I was saying, like, this is not a chop. Like you said earlier, Haji's ain't got nothing on y'all anymore. Listen, Haji's may have been the originator of the chop, but Haji's ain't got nothing on
We just want
Shmackwich.
to figure out like
it's all paying
why people
homage.
gatekeeping for them. Like you know how there's bronze sexuals, y'all Haji sexuals. Like he don't know you.
Yo, that's hilarious.
And the cook that used to be there don't work there no more.
No, yeah,
No, you know what it is,
And
though?
the Mexican
I'm
homie
not gonna-
that started it and made it popping for them, he's not getting no money, no
Nope.
PC, no nothing.
No,
He's
the
not
thing is, like,
represented, he's not on the gram.
honestly, what it is though, I feel like it's just people are just like so like anti-change. New York is an anti-change.
Yeah, it's
place.
like
I'm not
hip
gonna
hop
lie,
started in the
like-
Bronx, so it can't be.
It's half
You know what I
that,
mean?
It's half that they're mad that they didn't think of it. That's really how.
Also,
I
because
feel.
it's like, yeah, something that doesn't occur. It's just like, oh, yeah, it's a chopped cheese. It's good. Like, you know, I'm going to eat that shit when I'm wasted, blah, blah, blah.
Which is our message. Just start. We literally
Exactly.
We didn't know nothing. Everything has been.
No, we were
learned
like, yo, bro, how are we
along the
going to
way.
charge people $20 for this chopped cheese? That's what our debate was. He's like, yo, damn, like, there's no way that we can charge any less than this and make money. So we were just like, yo, bro, like,
We gotta
we
do
were
it.
like, yo,
Yeah.
like, literally, we were going to give away sandwiches at first.
When I heard
You know
there was
what
a
I'm saying?
$20 chop, I told my brother, and he was telling me, I was like, yo, Joe, I don't know if Jordan's gonna be able to sell a $20 chop, bro. It's a chop. Like, bro, it's a chop. And he was like, nah, but it's Wagyu and this. I was like, I understand,
Yo.
bro, but it's the hood.
We
I rem-
posted a picture.
Yeah.
We planned on selling like 15, 20 that first weekend. So what it was is like, that's how we started was, look at this sandwich. We're going to sell it on Saturday and Sunday at these pickup times.
Yeah.
Monday, you have Monday through Friday to order it. It's limited amounts. Come and get it while it's hot.
Yeah.
We ended up getting like 70 as a pre-order. We had a very famous Sam, Andre Harrell Mack.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
ordered 15. He works with
Yeah,
Bon
yeah.
Appetit magazine our first weekend.
Yeah.
So it's like we were seeing, you know what? Like not only will people do it, but from all different demographics.
Hell yeah.
How wonderful is it that this is what's uniting New York? And then like, you know what? That's why I feel like
Because like
there
I'm
should be
honestly
more
I'm
of-
gonna give it up for the chopped cheese in general because the chopped cheese united New York at a time when New York needed unity.
Yo, damn right, man.
You know what I'm saying? And also and all real shit, you know what I mean? Like honestly, it's just like for me, chopped cheese, I knew like, you know, Jimbo's and you know, over on like 201, you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
underneath the train, you know, like Jimbo's on 125th, Haji's. But like it became just like a dog whistle for just like cool shit in New York. It's like, yo, this is a chopped cheese. Like
Yo,
and it
facts.
was also a way to like kind of like rag on gentrification too, because it's like, yo, bro, like don't ever compare it to a Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah, a chopped cheese. Yo,
Nah, don't ever.
I'm very reluctant to even say that because I'm just like, technically, I always get the disclaimer. Technically, I'm not supposed to say this, but for your mind, it's the closest thing I could say is a Philly cheesesteak. It's like the New York answer to Philly cheesesteak. But I'm like, don't quote me on that.
We dead,
You know what I'm saying?
almost
Like-
yell at people in the, like
Yo.
in a very New York way. They'd be like, it's like a Philly cheesesteak. Like,
No.
nah.
It was
No.
the hardest thing when we was
Yeah.
in England last
It's not
year.
Steakums.
We was in England at the festival last year, and like everybody's like, "Oh yeah, it's cheesesteak." I was like, "No, bro, it's like
No.
not a cheesesteak." It's like, "No, it's a
And we was
cheesesteak."
playing Biggie at our stand and Pop Smoke, and we was letting them know, like, and that's what everybody loved. Our stand became, so this is the largest festival in London by Live Nation, right? It's called
Yeah.
Camp Festival.
Yeah, it's a huge family festival. We were part of the Feast Collective.
And by the end of it,
Oh, all right.
everybody knew who Shmackwich was, and we loved it. And it wasn't because, but that's the thing, we're being authentic. We're honoring you, New York.
Yeah.
Like, we came through and we're like, yo, you order yet? All right, move. Next long line. Come on, let's go. And
You treat them like they at home.
like you, it's genuine.
Giving you the real
And the
experience.
most beautiful part of it is that I said this in another interview, and like I
Kate
love
Kate
quoting
Winslet had a chop
the
at the
same line.
Wait, what?
Winslet.
Can't wait.
Dead ass?
Yeah, dead ass. Yeah,
That's
Straight up.
fire.
Yo,
Yeah,
that's
that
a
was
hard
crazy.
ass thing to say.
That's
I'll be
a
honest
flex
with
right
you.
there.
Yeah, dude. Like,
that's like, yo, that's big, bro.
and I didn't want to move
That's a
past it,
flex.
but when you said we basically, and this is the way I interpreted, we basically deconstructed and recreated a sazon pack, like the amount of passion that went into my fat heart hearing that, I was just like, yo, that's beautiful, bro. And then you followed up, and I was like, God, man, listen.
And that's who it's for. It's for the people that love like for me, the reason why sandwiches was the first thought. Like I'm religious with sandwiches.
Nah,
So,
for
like,
real.
Don't put too much meat in it. Don't put too little. Tomatoes gotta be thin. Why you
Yeah,
not
you
shredding
like
the
yo slice
lettuce?
the.
Yo.
Why you not
Like-
shredding the meat? Like,
Like,
pause.
there's-
Nah.
You feel
Yeah,
me?
girl, no racist. Nah, all that to say, I didn't want to get, like, I didn't want to lose it because I've had it on my mind. But like, one of the coolest things was researching the chop and like finding out about New York culture even more.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
That's the thing.
That's
with
not
New
an
York,
easy
like,
one
you
either.
think you know it all.
Yeah.
No. So we have some like, Wu-Tang affiliates. Shout out Gustavo and Street Life Wu. And we were doing like sandwich research. And they're like, yo, bro.
That's so dope.
Hear this. There's gonna be a lot of people mad. In Queens, in the 80s, we was ordering chopped cheese. And how they broke it down to me, and I'm like, this is the most New York thing I've ever heard. It's like, Philly cheesesteak, $5. Cheeseburger, $4. How do I get the dollar feel for 15 cents? Like they literally just told the Ak, like, chop it up, make it feel like a cheesesteak.
Yo.
It isn't, and it isn't the same price. Yeah, and that's the most New York shit I've ever heard.
That is.
Yeah.
Facts.
And honestly, that is an even better origin story because I did not know that. I thought chopped cheeses started just south of like 138th, like in some little small bodega right there. I thought it kind of just popped one day and then just spread. It was one of those magical things where you never really kind of ideally know the origin story. Yeah, like you never really know, but you kind of have an idea.
Yeah, like, it's like hip hop too. It's just like it's so New York. It's just like you don't know.
And no one will ever know.
It started in the park. Did it start in 58, 73?
Instead of like cook it over easy. It's like, of course you can transition this meat into many different forms. Ooh, you put it all together. Fucking reinvented the wheel, didn't you? But it's like, it's the same.
Nah, man, there is something to that though. Taking something existing and bringing it to a next level is something. Like I said, one of my favorite quotes came out of the Social Network interview. He was like, "Does every man who's ever built a chair owe homage to the person that first built a chair, even though they completely revolutionized the design?"
Word.
So if you're taking something that exists and you are actually taking it and making it 1,000 times better, like. Do I owe credit for inspiration? By all means, I'll give you acknowledgement. But past that, we're not talking the same thing.
That's the whole student becomes the teacher.
To kick up to you because like
every single musical
should
genre
we be bringing an envelope to Haji's every week?
Needs to come back to moans and groans from cavemen like 30,000 years ago.
No, but the real of it though is just like
respectfully, if we're
in all honesty, like we're not like like I said, it's not even about like what we said. This bro, it's not even about a sandwich, bro. Like. It's just about like us, like
it's the movement,
the coolest versions of ourselves we could possibly be.
Hell yeah,
and have a vehicle, to present. It's just like we could just be out here and just like on the street and be like, yo, we eat some dope ass niggas just like chilling. It's like now we have this
we bring
sandwich.
This with us,
You know what I'm saying? Like if you guys want to like see, like feel the vibe in a different way, here you go. You know what I'm saying? Like honestly, it's just like. For me, for like food, like, I studied art when I was in school, you know what I'm saying? I studied my BFA or whatever. So like, food is just like another medium of art for me. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, okay, you get to like paint the fucking picture like through food. And it's just like, it has like, I've always said that food is the most like honest medium of art because like there's no interpretation. It's either good
on tomorrow. You can't think
it's
about
not
it.
good.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? There's no thought. Like you can't interpret it and be like, oh, I interpret that this. People can sit there and be like, oh yeah, I see this and I see that in the painting and the woman is over here and the guy's there. But no, it's either if you don't eat it, if you bite it and you're like, nah. If your face doesn't light up and you're like, yo, yeah, you know what I'm saying, and you're quiet and you just finish it, then if that's not the case for me, it's trash because it's just like if you could talk about this while you're eating it. It's trash because it's just like, bro.
Yeah, we ask most people how it is once they're done because we
leave people to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like honestly, the best thing that I feel like what really helped us to sell our first chops is that video that we posted with Mitty trying it because like it was the first time he tried it. Right? We had so many different renditions, but Mitty was there for like the kind of like the last one. You know what I'm saying? But it was like kind of in the middle, and like we came to the crib. Jordan came through. Homie PD, you know what I'm saying? Like all of that, they, everybody tasted it, you know what I'm saying? And then Mitty had it for the first time in that video. He was like, yo, here, bro, just have the sandwich. It was in my bag for like 3 hours. I was just like, we like running around the city doing a bunch of different stuff. And then like, he had the sandwich for the first time. And like when you saw him stop, it was like, yeah,
bro.
Yo, yeah, this is it. It's like, yeah. And then that shit right there is what got everybody like, yo, this sandwich must be really good. Because you felt it. You felt like that visceral, like, damn, like this is like, he was quiet. He ate the shit the whole way through the video. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he thought he was about to talk his shit. He was doing a whole lot of
Yo, as a fat boy, let me tell you, nothing. As a big dude. My son's big. My brother's like, we're all big dudes. Nothing gives approval of a meal more than just utter silence.
Absolutely.
Like I come from a shit talking. There's 10 people at the table. All of it. Once it's quiet. So the fact that you just said it like that when no one has a response, like. Yo, man, y'all are like fat boy superheroes. It's mad inspiring everything y'all are saying right now. I'm just sitting here like, yo.
Yo, the first first chop I ever had, I got from you guys when you was on that spot down on West 4th. Down by West 4th?
Yeah, Solaro. Shout out.
Yes.
Shout out Paolo.
The first one I went and I went and I was on my way to go pick up wifey and I was just wasting time and I just ended up being down there. and I just picked one up. I forgot about it in the car for like 5-6 hours. I went back to the car, didn't heat it up, nothing, and ate it, and it was delicious. And I was like, yo, this is this good this long after. I could just imagine how good it would have been if I would have ate it right then and there.
Yeah.
Bro, when I tell you, we're gonna go this week.
Yeah, we're gonna try to either go
and
tomorrow
we're gonna
or
go
Wednesday.
and go get some chocolate so he could try it.
Yeah, we're gonna get my live reaction. Listen, man, I'm not a
get
critic.
his live reaction
I'm just a
because
big dude who likes
The
food.
live silent reaction.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna talk much.
I might smack the camera like, all right, no, we're not doing this now. Yeah, exactly.
It's personal.
Nah, I'm one of those people.
Gotta get viral.
I'm one of those people like, yo, listen, if I do take eating when I can, just because I got stomach issues, so it's very when I can eat. It kind of just depends. So because of that now,
You love us. It's good for you.
that's what. But even then, it's just I do have those moments where I do fall in love with a plate. Like, yo, dogs, I've been sick all week. My wife cooked last night, and it really was. She was like, "How is it?" And you ever want to just like look at your significant other and be like, "Yo, it's delicious. Please stop talking to me." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're interrupting what's going on between me and this plate. And just the way that the energy that y'all have brought for it, like, I'm looking forward. Like, yo, I ain't even going to eat Wednesday, bro. I'm gonna go in there just clear eyed, like, sit down, have like kind of one of those. Take my napkin, gently put it around my collar. Like, you know what I'm saying? I really want to feel this out.
We'll get you a little.
Just give me a moment.
Yeah, like I said, because if it is one of those things where I start to get like watery-eyed passion, like, yo, this is delicious. Like, I don't need that to be on camera. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm chasing. It's not money, honestly. Like,
It's
I remember like crying watching a Chef's Table episode by a chef named Alain Passat. He's the 3 Michelin star chef of Arpège in Paris. And I was like, I want people to feel
facts
what he's making. Like, I'm
That
not
show
even
takes
at
it out
the
of you.
restaurant. Like, it's just on screen, and the time and effort he put into feeding somebody's soul and how he composed it. Even like he's a rich man. He could do whatever he wants. He could be in Monte Carlo with Ferraris, just like living la vida loca. He owns a farm 15 minutes outside of Paris, so he can grow all the food himself and watch over it and make sure that it's cultivated.
That's the dream right there, bro.
Perfectly from start to finish to when you eat it.
Yeah,
He's the guy that in the center of like butter and meat focused menus, he was like, I'm gonna take all meat off the menu. And he kept his 3 Michelin stars with only veggies and fruits as the star. And when I saw what he put up, and I'm like, that's the highest level of existence. Like, he's resonating at like, 1,000 frequencies.
Yeah,
he's in tune with his world.
That's it.
That's the whole thing too. Though he did what he wanted to do, bro, and that's just like honestly, for me, that's the driving factor. It's just like, yo, bro, just like I've said this a lot to people. I was like, yo, after the last few years, like, there's literally nothing anybody could tell you, bro. Like, if you want to do something,
do it.
You know what I mean? Like, if you want to just like put something out and just like, for whatever purpose you want, just do it. Like, there's no reason to justify it. There's no reason to do anything besides the fact that you want to, and that it's something that you really fuck with wholeheartedly. And I think that that's what it is about, like, what we're presenting. Like, I keep on saying, like, bro, this is not a sandwich. It's not about selling a sandwich. You know what I mean? Like, it's not about any of that besides the fact that this is just like, what we wanted to do. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. Like, make bread with my homies. You know what I'm saying? Like, cook food, have a party, chill. You know what I'm saying? Meet new people. And that's exactly what we get to do right now. And then, yeah, we are getting paid for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're making amazing contacts with people. Like, where, like, bro, where Chop Cheese has taken us in the last, like, 2 years, bro, that's crazy, bro. That's why it's like, yeah, it's about a sandwich, bro. It's not about
It's
a sandwich,
not,
bro. It's
yeah,
about
man.
the fact that we just buckled down and say, you know what? We're going to do it. Like, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Okay, yo, we made $50 off this one event. All right, yeah, whatever, bro. Like, it's all good. We made...
You don't stop.
It's the experience, man. Yeah, dude.
We just do every day. It's funny, like, we realized as we received success that the message of rich people that seems so cryptic and fucking, like, profound is not. It's very simple. They don't have an answer to give you as to how you can make it. There is no play-by-play. There is no book to give you. There is no secret. You have to decide, I will not be defeated, and you have to try it.
Exactly. You're not going to defeat yourself.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Just do it.
So let me
Like,
ask y'all a
literally
question.
Yo, y'all are motivating as fuck, man. I'm sorry. Like, I'm like leaving out of this. Like, God, man, I feel great.
For me, I wasn't gonna do it, but now I gotta do it. Like, I really feel like we're embodying like the famous interview with Bob Marley, where like they asked him how rich he is, and he's like, "What do you mean riches?
Yeah.
I don't have those types of riches." Like,
I've never been someone to measure the quantity of wealth as far and like happiness and like I don't know. I'm just not a money person. I'm not a flashy clothes person. I'm more of the experience, more of like the energy towards things. So as I'm hearing all this, dude, and seeing the success and watching, I'm like, yo, man, this is fucking great. Like, let's go, dude.
If I make the same amount of money working for myself with Shmackwich that I do with my salary job, that for me will be I'm rich already because I work for myself.
Exactly.
I own my time. I am rich.
You love what you do.
That's it.
Let me ask y'all this question. Where do you guys see Shmackwich in 5 years?
I mean, we're trying to grow it to the point thoughtfully where it can become something we can pass off to people. You know, you use this as your vehicle, as your franchise, hopefully, or whatever may have you to propel it. You know, here are some cultural guidelines to follow and like how you can respect what we're trying to bring to the world. But yeah, you collab with your friend.
Yep.
You know, we don't need to okay that. You do that in your city. Like, honestly, I hope it inspires more than anything. But if we're able, like, you know, for people to do their own thing, but if we're able to franchise and become this vehicle that, you know, just expands into franchises, or I'd even want to say that's where I see us in 1 to 2 years. In 5 years from now, I see us fully, you know, executing all the ideas we have in our mind. Like, for
Let's
us,
go.
Sibby kind of spoke about it before. I think we're going to be one of the first people to like properly mix art, food, music, sex, like everything into food and like have that as the vehicle. Like one of like some of the projects that like we're going to work on in the future is that, you know, let's say you're an artist and you have an album, right? 10-track album. You want to do a listening. We're going to do 10 courses to pair to each song. The food will relate to the lyrics, to the timbre of the song, to the tempo, how quickly it's being served, when is it being dropped, at the height of it, at your best verse. It's going to pair with a cocktail that's going to speak to that as well. We're going to have, you know, waitresses or maitre d's that are dressed in a way that complements your project and what's going on. We are going to be the people that are thoughtful in, you know, bringing to life this culture that we know and love and not excluding food and not just treating it as a deli that you go and it's not a commissary. It's love, man. It's like, it's how you take care of yourself and your other people. And I think we're going to be able to do it on a scale that like we get recognized for our artistry in food.
That's really well put. I like that.
Enhancing. Upping it the 5 senses.
Yes, exactly.
Upping it.
The 6th sense.
First page of the business book will be up it.
Up it.
Up it. The second one, up it again.
We used to tell Mitty about like
it's a
problems and
stick
shit
up.
we had, like, oh, this is why we won't be able to do it. He'd be like, I don't care, we gotta up it. We just got like, okay. He's like, sir, how will you pay for this invoice? We're gonna up it.
Yo.
That's it.
And getting it done.
Definitely, like,
getting it done.
Yep.
definitely see us like really just like at the forefront of us like creating. How can I say this the right way? Like having like, you know, just like comfort food being able to have the same impact as a Michelin, you know,
I get you,
La
yeah.
Bernardin, you know, La Bernardin, like, you know, having that impact. Like, you know, when you eat at a place like that, you feel something. It's like something that's like, it's visceral, right? Like you feel like every aspect of love. The reason why they have all their produce fresh daily is because that's when the, you know, that's when the most like electricity is passing through that product. You know, the reason why is because like, you know, you get the meat straight from the butcher, like straight from the farm instead of like going through the butcher and going through like all these processes is because like, you know, it has the most life still, you know what I mean? So like, for me, it's like, I want to take the deli and just like make it that. Like, that's what I think it should be. That's what it was, you know what I'm saying, to begin with. You think about it, like all the old school, like Jewish bakeries and delis and the Italians and everybody that kind of like helped to build like this culture of New York City, which is based around sandwiches. Like, you think about it, it's just like a sandwich is embedded into our DNA, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you grow up if you're from New York and you could trace it back generations, like, you literally have like sandwich running through your blood. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Literally, there's something
facts.
about it. Like, you cannot deny it. I've tried to deny sandwiches for a while. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, the bread and da-da-da and this, that, and the third. But then like when Shmackwich came around, I was like, no, I can't deny the sandwich anymore. Like I don't care about the carb intake. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna make sure I get the best bread that I could possibly get if I want to eat bread every single day because I can't not do this. You know what I'm saying? Like I would rather have a bacon, egg, and cheese than like, you know, a meal at fucking Balthazar, you know what I'm saying? Or a meal like, you know what I'm saying? I would rather do
I'm that guy. So
you know
I'm like, yeah, I
I would
get
rather
it.
do that. And like, okay, if what really separates that for me is the ingredients that they're using at the deli, all right, that's why I became a chef because like I went to restaurants, I got shitty service, and at the same time, the food wasn't as good as something I could do. I was like, and I wasn't even like at that point, I wasn't even like a professional, right? Like I was just like, yo, I could just do way better than this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this shit is not really hitting. So I was just like, yo, I'm gonna start learning how to make all of these dishes. Like, you know, any kitchen that I worked in or any restaurant, I always made sure I went to go talk to the chef, like, you know, hang out in the kitchen, learn different things. Like, yo, when do I go and buy, you know, when is the best time for me to go and buy this product? When should I get fish from over here? Or when should I go to the farmer's market? And they would tell me, like, you know, these are the days you should go, blah, 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 because it's the freshest. And I just followed that. And then I just, like, started recreating, like, some of my favorite stuff. And then, like, you know, I was just like, boom, like, that's, like, for me, it's just, like, I feel like we could be essentially, like, the Shake Shack of, like, deli sandwiches. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So, well spoken.
You
The
know what I mean?
spiritual aspect, Chef CB just said that, you know, his new religion is give us our daily
Bread.
our daily Shmackwich.
Daily
Yo,
Schmack.
give us our
this day,
daily
Schmackwich.
We found the title of the episode.
Yo,
We now found the title of the
that's real
episode.
though. Like that's real. But to the both, listen, man. I listen to a lot of people talk about they selling their stuff all the time. It's very rare that the passion you hear when someone speaks about their product is genuine to the point that y'all both get excited still talking about it.
Yeah.
So like I'm getting that live energy right now. That's why I'm sitting here like, yo, y'all love this, man. And that's awesome,
so
dude.
fun,
like,
bro.
yo, that's so
I
great.
was an international business major. I wanted to go to law school and be a lawyer. I was, you know, options trading desk at 19 years old out of high school. I speak 4 languages. I was like, I'm never going to do this, right? Work in hospitality. This is the most like authentic medium that exists in the world. Like I call
Facts.
restaurants the last true church. Like you come there,
Yo,
if you're depressed and you're
It's
at the
facts.
bar, you're coming to be saved. Bartenders save more people than suicide specialists, EMS, firefighters put together.
For real, having a good meal.
Servers
and,
will
like, a
change
good
your
drink.
life. I've shared cries with tables, literally, just
Yeah.
because of like, you know, how we connected. And I say this to say like, the best school in the world, and they will pay you to attend, is a restaurant. You will learn about relationship building. You'll learn
Facts.
about what your work ethic will get you. There's like so many things you can, I mean, like you're surrounded by vices. Like you have to control whether you want to drink or not. If you're going to, you know, take the bump of Coke offered from the coworker. It's literally a gladiator school for life.
Facts.
If you are out there and you are looking for some type of guidance, you haven't taken a step, you don't know what to do, go take a part-time job at a restaurant. You'll learn a lot about yourself.
The culture does come like heavily from like military culture. So like most earlier chefs, like they were like military people.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So it's just like that's why the kitchen is run the way that the kitchen is run, like mise en place, and like everything is boom, boom, boom. You have your knife roll, you have your uniform. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't come on the line without your whites. You know what I mean? Like all of these things are very structural. You know what I'm saying? It's there to kind of like, you know, even when you have like, you know, the divide between the front and back of house. Like,
It
you
shows
know,
respect for
yeah,
what you're
exactly.
doing.
You know, it shows respect for what you're doing. Like it helps you to like, you know, train your mind. Like honestly, bro, like I keep so many things in my brain, like just from the fact that I work in the kitchen. It's just like it's like things that you can't calculate. Like the average person can't calculate certain shit that I'm calculating. I could look at like, oh, this like square of butter, and it's like, oh yeah, it weighs 27 grams.
Yeah, my
You know what I'm
memory is
saying?
expounded
Yeah,
because
facts.
I don't use, sheets to write it down because
Yeah.
I worked in a restaurant
As
where I
many
had
times
to.
as like I've gone to sleep
You know?
and actually not going to sleep because I'm just like, okay, damn, how many pounds of fucking pork butts do I have in the fridge right now? Okay, damn, like we sold X amount, but I mean I gotta process this, and I'm just like literally up until 4:00 in the morning, just like stewing over like all the different things, like breaking down my walking. Like it's just like it trains your brain, and it just like trains you to be like, it can become obsessive, but it makes you the best version of yourself. You know what I'm saying?
I believe the best skill you can ever have in life is perspective, and restaurants are
Let's
like
fucking
they
go.
train that the most.
Yeah, and
Your
it's all in
perspective,
service
yeah.
too, because like that's another thing. Like
You gotta take yourself out the ego. Somebody could be rude to you. Like it's not personal. Like
Yeah.
your job is called server. You're here to,
exactly,
sometimes you being nice to a mean person
is what teaches them that lesson. Like, you have actually killed them with kindness.
And it also keeps you from being an asshole too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Correct,
it really helps to keep you honest.
I actually heard a bunch of stories of people talking, like they were in a kind of like a mood, basically just reflecting on what happens when you have a server who kind of checks you, and they do it by being completely like lovely about the situation.
Yeah.
You know, something goes wrong, the person's got something up their ass, blah, 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 blah. They give you a rough time, and the server's like gives you nothing but like the complimentary service.
Yeah.
So at the end of it, you kind of just got to be like, oh, fuck. All right. Yeah, I'm going to, exactly. Yeah, damn. You know what I'm saying? And also, bringing that. Yeah, there's been times where I've definitely been hungry enough or just in a situation where I'm like, I just need to eat. And I look at the person bringing over my food, especially like you have big family events and everything where everyone's waiting on a plate so you don't know when yours is coming.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've looked at them with somewhat of a romance in the eye. Like, thank you. You know what I'm saying? You're the person. Yeah, you're the person making the difference right now.
That's true. That's
it.
Because, like, honestly, like, that's another thing too. Is just like, so there's like this study that's done, right? Where it was just like they showed like in a prison where you have like a whole food diet as compared to a prison where they have like a canned, like you get your food out of the can, and like everything just comes out of
processed,
crazy. And you have a prison where it's just like they get stuff from the farm, and like they get this like the chickens come in fresh, like they're not like
same
frozen.
prison, 2 different blocks.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's like they did a study and they showed that in a prison where you have like a more whole food diet where like people are like actually cooking and like seasoning, and like the the inmates working in the kitchen are working together. You know what I'm saying? Like in the community, like there's less incidences of violent crimes at those prisons.
Much less.
It's just like something like crazy, like 60% less violent crimes at those prisons.
That's wild.
And like a higher rate of like people actually like rehabilitating just from a whole food diet. So you think about that the effect that food has on you is down to your mood. Like, you know what I mean? Like you think about it, like I always think like if the hood had better food choices, we would be able to make better choices. In life.
It's synonymous with American culture.
Yep. All right. Thank you guys for addressing the systematic issue.
Yes.
I'm one of these people where I'm like big on that. The fact that you were both in the field with the experience and are making the attempt to now really display like, listen, eating better can lead to a better result mentally, physically, spiritually. You can get into more of a connection because the amount of processed food, the amount of like, it was always a joke growing up as an EBT kid. Like, you ever heard, oh yeah, the government cheese thing? Like, I've heard it all. Obviously, if you're from New York, you know what the EBT gets you and what it doesn't get you. Imagine being, and also like the food pyramid, I believe, has changed. And like, don't quote me on that because I'm not there, but I do believe like
what they don't promote dairy anymore. Now all of a sudden, there's no government campaigns. Like all of the whole like got milk movement, cheese and everything, milk at lunch was literally government sponsored because of cheese farmers that lobbied the government.
Right.
It's all about, they were like, listen, we want more money for what we're doing. They saw the system. They used the system to their advantage. They got the people in office that benefit them, and they made it happen. And that's why it's the same thing as diamonds in the De Beer family. They're not worth anything, people. Diamonds are worthless. The only thing that makes them worthwhile is that one family owns all of them. So they release a certain amount, and that's how the price is propagated. It's like it's not about the word conspiracy, which was invented by the CIA to,
I've never been so happy. I can't like stress the amount of like overload I'm getting right now.
Max wants to cry right now.
Between the food talk and now this, fam, I'm like sitting here overwhelmed.
Go right ahead.
I'm sitting here, my heart is in my sleeve. Oh, sir.
It's not about the fact that they invented that word literally purposefully to take away from your free thought and make you sound crazy. It's about the fact that
you hear this, Castro?
Just this past month, a coalition of European doctors got together and put the United States on blast and said that you guys have over 30 to 50 chemicals in over 80% of your food that are straight up illegal here.
Yes.
Yeah.
In almost 90% of your bread products, you have these crystalline type products that you use to puff up like how much you're actually getting that are directly, not 2-3 steps removed, directly related to tumor growths and cancer.
The Mondo Burger.
Our literal whole medical system is for profit. It's like where there is smoke, there is fire, people. The food makes us sick. If we are sick, we go to the hospitals. If we go to the hospitals,
we get on medication.
We get on medication, we get the medication, we get sick again, and everybody makes money in that wheelhouse that goes back to the top. It's like just follow the flow, the evidence.
And that's what I don't like about conspiracy thinking, is that it's not an unsurmountable system that you can't, beat. It's just something you have to remove yourself from. Just don't eat what they tell you to eat. No, I was watching this, in Wu-Tang, they were spitting game. Fucking the black community got Kool-Aid, all these things put in as snacks because of the Soul Train word board. Soul Train
I did see that on the
a popping program in the black community that white executives came in and were like, these are the products that we're gonna, pander to the community and fill them with. And that's why we love Kool-Aid, honey buns, etc. Nobody fucking ate that. That's not from Ghana, Senegal, Ivory Coast, like Burkina Faso, wherever may have you. It's literally from white executives.
I love zebra cakes. I don't care.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but the thing is that the informed decision is the correct decision.
Oh, of course.
I know. He literally, when he says I love zebra cakes, he's saying, I know this is poison.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoy it. Don't be confused.
And he's also part of the Swirl Gang, so.
Correct. Oh, shit.
Zebra cakes are good.
He's a Swirl Gang guy,
Honey
so
buns are
zebra
good.
cakes is good for him.
I do love
why I
zebra
was
cakes.
like,
Honestly, with everything said, I love all of these things. But that's why it's good. That's why the idea is to make it with the right ingredients. Like, there's nothing wrong
Correct.
with it.
The last part
Besides-
of it in the 5-year
besides
plan
the
is
fact-
food education.
And that's
for
just the whole
everybody.
thing. Like, okay, yeah, they duped us, they got us, great. But now we're here. And what should we do? We should just
We're
make
here
it
now.
awesome. You know what I'm saying? Like, make it
Simi,
awesome.
or
If that's
maybe
what you want,
die, we didn't do it
make it
ourselves.
awesome.
You know
No,
what I'm saying?
no Kanye. No, I'm just kidding. No, but like, no, it's just like about making the things that resonate with you awesome. Like, there's nothing wrong with it besides the fact that it's just like made in like a very like shitty way. Like, and like
Yeah, no, it's
even the people
they're
that
not
create
evil
these
if
products,
they tell you and you still do it.
but even these people with the products, like I can't.
Yo, that's
even,
actually
like,
a very good
I don't
point.
blame
They're
all
just
of
dumb.
them. You know what I'm saying? Because like honestly, now people like they just want it. Like people just like, yeah, I just want this. I just want it. So it's just like, you know what, fuck it. Like, but like for me, as using Shmackwich as like a vehicle for change, right? It's like, okay, yes, all of these things that I do love as a fat kid, yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love my donut sticks and my honey buns. But, like, there's nothing like a fresh cinnamon roll in comparison to, like, or like a good, like, chocolate cupcake that's not Hosters. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and it's not that you
holes
don't
are
want
not
it.
from
It's
Dunkin'
accessibility.
Donuts. You know what I'm
Food
saying?
deserts.
Like, we love it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's the whole idea. Like, I really want to, like, just, like, revamp that whole culture and just make it really
and make
good.
it better.
You know what I'm saying?
Bruh.
Just make it really good. Like, why not? Like, it's like, honestly, it shows that, instead of like, when you change diets, people do this a lot, right? You change your diet. It's actually better for your body for you to stick with like the quote unquote shitty diet that you're used to growing up with than to try to change it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it sets your whole system into like, it's like
Rough adaptability.
Like the brakes on a train when it's going like 100 miles an hour. Like, it kind of just like, it shocks the system.
Yeah, you need gradual resets.
Work.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, it
Gradual
shocks the
change.
system in that sense.
Yeah, so what it is just like improving the quality of ingredients that's in your food. You know what I mean? Like maybe not eating as much. And you won't have to eat as much if you eat food with like, high nutrition.
Yeah, that'll actually fulfill you the correct way instead of the temporary like
More protein
exactly.
content than
more protein content, better
preservatives.
vitamins.
Well, like you ever like the concept of like people saying when you go to get Chinese food, like that you'll be hungry in like 20 minutes anyway after eating and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that has something. Now, once again, I don't know the science behind it. I just know that it from time to time that'd be the case.
No,
Yeah, but then
that
if
is
you go
true.
if you go to like Kanji or you go to like somewhere, you go to
A
Kanji
real-
Village, you go to a real spot
Yeah,
where they're using, there's people in the kitchen like cooking the food for real.
yeah.
You're not gonna have that same effect. You're gonna leave Kanji Village with a doggy bag. And you're gonna be like, yo, I'm mad satisfied right now. You know what I mean?
So
it's
You're
like,
100%
Szechuan
correct.
Express is actually the problem. It's not the food itself. It's Szechuan Express.
yeah, it's like yes,
Gotcha.
exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's the Panda Express. It's just like the way that it's being made. Also, you think about it like
anything. People make
people-
poison like
the
in
people
food.
don't love it though.
Yeah, that's
the
what I'm
people,
saying.
the
And
people
there's some
don't
that
love
make
what
it
they're
bad.
doing. Like that's a huge part of it. Like, with us, like we love what we're doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Every single like, chopped cheese that we make, the secret ingredient really is just like genuine love. Like we're really enjoying it. Like, like people are like, oh, kid, is there any way for us to make this faster? Sit it underneath the heat lamps, blah, blah, blah. You're like, nah,
No.
you have to wait for your sandwich.
Kind of blasphemy talk
You know
is
what I'm
that.
saying?
You gotta
have
respect.
to-
You gotta respect yourself, whether you know that that's what we're doing for you or not. Take this time. One of the
people
greatest
see it.
things I heard was 2 Chainz talking about like, I don't care how busy I get. When I eat, I set time aside to sit down
And eat.
and enjoy it.
Yeah.
I am feeding my soul. I am respecting what I'm doing right
And
now.
that's what it is. Like, we want people to respect the process of feeding yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like when you sit there and you see us on the grill chopping the chopped cheese, like, there's no way in your mind. It's like the Benihana effect. You can't say that this is nasty, bro. You can't be like, oh, it's not worth it. You see me there working.
Yeah, you're seeing it happen.
You know what I'm saying? I'm putting the burger down. I got to cut your bread fresh. I got to put it on the grill. I get the onions. I get the peppers. Like, I chop it up. I put the spice on it. Then we add the honey, and we do everything is purposeful and like it's an action. So it's just like when you see it, you're like, all right, cool, it's worth it.
You would not pay Benihana prices just for the food that you get on a plate.
Well,
Exactly.
you're all getting into the, why people don't understand, I will make a joke, like maybe to illustrate the fact, like why do French people like to eat snails or escargot?
Why?
Because we don't like fast food.
That's funny.
Got it.
Damn.
So
Which, if you've
That
ever
was a
eaten
good
at a
one.
McDonald's in France, God, that beautiful food.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you could buy
I wanna hear
a
that.
beer and a glass of wine there too.
That I knew, but I'm talking about like, do your nuggets look completely different?
Yes, everything is different. Like you'll get.
You're
like,
actually getting chicken
you'll
probably
get
in
chicken,
France.
like,
Yeah.
and
they're getting the ingredients again.
And
It's
you know
all
what's
about
crazy?
Ingredients.
The-
that you
it's-
use.
it's also, but you know what's funny, and that's how you know we're getting shit food. They eat more than us. And when I go to France, my cousins used to always be like, you guys have like buckets of soda and French fries at McDonald's. I'm like, no, you guys still have the Maxi Best of menu. It's 2023.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they can supersize meals.
This magical thing you speak of? Way to go on. All right.
Yeah, like there's like small, medium, large, and then they have Maxi Best of.
Oh, I remember. I'm old enough to remember supersize.
Okay, so
that's why I'm sitting here like, what do you?
You can
these died out a while
supersize
ago.
your meal in France. You get fucking cheddar bacon onion. The CBO over there is their hit. Like they
And
have
supersize.
larger Listen, I go to France. This is how dinner goes. We sit down. We have salad. Then we have our apps. And we have main courses. Some salad again. We stop. We have cheese plates with bread. I eat a whole half a baguette. Then we have ice cream. I lose weight while I'm on vacay in France. I eat like that all day long.
Someone else told me about that
I
exactly
come
about
here.
Italy.
I eat once or twice a day.
And
I
you
blow up
No, what
because
it
of
is, it's bloating.
the shit that I'm eating. I don't eat
Yeah.
bread and cheese. I deflate. I don't lose weight. I deflate. I'm inflated because of like my body can't handle.
Yeah, your
It's
body's
like
not-
water
it's
weight
not
type of
processing
thing.
it.
Bro, this is what I am currently physically going through.
Yeah, it's
where my
gas.
body has reached a point of like, I now have to fast for the next 2 days because I've gotten a buildup here from taking good quality food and then getting smacked and going and eating something that was completely shit right before I went to sleep has completely locked up and swollen my body. I now have to fast and so my body can correct itself. That's what I'm currently going through.
Yeah.
So like I understand everything you guys are saying is complete gospel. But the one thing that y'all both just said in a different way that hit me hard was we both acknowledged that there's a problem. It's here. This is the situation. This is what we're going to do about it. If more
Exactly.
people had that kind of idea instead of just acknowledging the problem, seeing that it's there with no kind of course of solution, like no kind of idea of how they're going to make the change, even if it's just with you and then it becomes a movement. But for somebody to be like, this is what I'm going to do different and commit to it,
Yeah.
bro, we need more of that in the world.
Yeah, the business plan has kind of changed. Like I think Mark Cuban is the one that said it. Like if you want to make it like find a demand and then fill it with a product, it's kind of like the same now
Yeah.
where we're at with it, where it's like find a problem.
And
Fill
But
it
that's
with
the
solution.
that's the
Yeah.
and that's beautiful
that's
thinking.
well, that's like the manifesto, I guess, of like starting a business. Like you find your market, but then you find where the problem is and you solve that problem.
But I do think that a lot of people who, and this especially as of late, because the one thing that is kind of a theme is either for the pandemic, it either made you or broke you. Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who came out completely ruined. But then there's a lot of people who found their innovation and their stride and figured their way through it.
And those
Facts.
people were always half unplugged, so to say, from the matrix.
And with that also
Yeah.
being said, though,
Fact.
No,
Out
the
of the-
people that depended on the system,
Yeah, that
when
needed-
the system
yeah.
crumbled.
you jammed up.
That's it.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with also that being said, out of those people who did succeed with coming out with some sort of a business, how many of them do you really feel have a long-term mission? Like a passion that transcends the financial aspect?
Honestly,
Can't speak to it, but I was gonna say it is very important that one thing that I said earlier, and that's why I mentioned it. We sat there for months and decided we will be successful. Not if. We will be successful. How are we gonna handle that growth? how are we going to move and stay true to ourselves? We have seen a lot of people like be stuck with this success and they never thought
And
it
they
was
sell out.
coming or how they were going to deal with it, etc. Yeah.
I think that a lot of people have like, you know, like the real ones that came out of the pandemic definitely did something and are doing something and like are continuing with it. And then there are some people that are just like, okay, how can we just like make some quick money?
That's what I'm
Blah, blah,
saying.
blah.
Yeah,
You
there's
know
the
what I'm
people
saying?
who
Like,
came with
stuff
the
like
quick
that.
hustle out of it, where you guys came with an entire movement. And once again, you're both passionate about it, bro. As far as educating just your fellow common man, bro, like you said, I'm not looking to do things. I'm looking to start here and expand.
Exactly.
That's a mentality I've always had in anyone with a business model or just that kind of ego for home importance and growth of their community has always been huge with me. So hearing this, like, bro, this is dope. This is what we need more of. We need more dreamers. We need to stop people succeeding. Think people, as a culture, I feel like we've stopped dreaming to a certain extent. You have goals and things you'd like to achieve, but they're not really your own. They're just a shortcut to whether it's the fame, the finance. When you have something that you can actually make a passion and just thrive, like you said, the chopped cheese is just a vehicle.
Right.
Like, you know, there's so much more that, which is ill because kind of at this point, unlimited potential, which brings me to my next. If you had to switch off on the chopped cheese and go with some other big thing, what would you guys have?
A different sandwich? Or
Yeah,
just
or
like-
just different product in general.
Or a different product in general.
Just because you guys spoke about food, and honestly, I feel like y'all got to go into the bag of like secret recipes involving
Like I
different
think I need
things.
some wings from y'all or something like that.
We've had the wings.
Ooh, we did the whiskey.
We've
wings.
had the
Whiskey
whiskey,
wings?
the whiskey
Yeah, Japanese
wings.
Suntory whiskey wings.
Here you go using them words that I just know. I know they're good because I see the smile, but that's what I'm like, I have no clue what any of that
No,
means.
but that's listen. I had a transformative moment that like set all of this forward for me. When I was a kid, I was working at a place called Pardon My French in the Lower East Side.
Shout out to POF.
PMF. Shout out Anton, Valentine. You know, family. You definitely got to check them out if you want to receive a warm welcome and intro to French cuisine. I received at the time, you know, you may not know him, but I know of him. He's like a world star hip hop, like freestyle rapper, Shah Moolah, right?
Mhm.
And Chase Benji, the two homies, they always doing the crazy like freestyles. They came to Pardon My French. They're again, you know, part of this like, you know, I don't eat raw meat. I'm not gonna have a steak tartare. And I asked them why. And I found out why they were scared of it. And I'm like, boom, let me explain all of this away for you. Educate. That's it. Once you tell people, the door's open. And a lot of people, like when they're prideful and they come from like a certain kind of background of like, you know, passive aggressiveness for survival, like I'm not going to ask you and make myself look no type of way. So it's like, just so you know, this is like brine with like vinegar. Like all of the bacteria that's actually inside of this raw beef has been killed. So it's safe. And then what happens is that because it is uncooked, the flavor lies within the blood. So none of it has escaped. So you actually get to have this super flavorful, impactful, and it keeps all of its nutrition bite of protein.
Right.
And it actually tastes good.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you would never know that and they would never know that. They would have never, after that, ordered their steak medium rare when they usually have it well done, if I didn't take the time to like respectfully use the knowledge that I have.
Right.
To use it for what it's for,
Word.
it's to educate you.
It's
and bring
also
you, not
like,
alienate people. That's it.
It's also a
Let's go.
testament to the quality of like what a PMF, you know, comparison to like what you're getting, like say at the, you know, the C-Town supermarket, right? Like growing up in the hood, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you are like, you already have like a negative connotation about meat that's undercooked. 'Cause it's just like, yo, this shit's been sitting in here. It might look bright and red on the top, but when I open it, it's gonna be gray on the other side.
Yeah.
The last thing that I want to do is
It's
eat
not
this
cook it,
thing.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well done. Like people think that when, you know, people from the hood come into the restaurants, like, yo, I want my burger well done. It's just like, oh, they have no respect for the meat. It's just like, no, bro, I'm like literally.
Yeah, I'm just not trying to get
Did you
sick.
explain to them? Did
Yeah,
you
I'm not
tell
trying to
them?
get sick.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's what it is too for us. Like, you know, with utilizing the ingredients that we use, is the fact that these ingredients are the best. You know what I'm saying? They're not pumped full of nitrates that's gonna make it look redder than it is because like it's been dead already for X amount of time.
Let me ask you a question. When you say just I don't mean to interrupt you, but like when you're saying like the redness of the meat, have you ever bought like ground beef from Trader Joe's? And see, it looks like the color of this
yeah,
microphone
I've
cushion.
seen it, but like I try not to shop at those places to be honest. But yeah, I know what you mean though. Like
Is that the nitrates or is that because they promote it as fresh, but I feel like it's always just. It's like Kool-Aid on like they dyed my
I
meat in
can't
Kool-Aid.
really speak. I can't really speak to
because it's about the language in the U.S.
to Trader Joe's, but like
You could say
It's
fresh
definitely,
juice
like,
as long as you
know-
put from concentrate and tiny in the bottom.
yeah.
So it is fresh beef,
tuna
but does that
fish.
mean that they didn't add nitrates? No.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then like it's just kind of like it's just common practice now to like kind of do some of those things to just like
To upsell it?
to upsell it into also so that that the rest like not the restaurant but like the supermarket doesn't lose that money, you know what I mean, as far as just like on on losing product or whatever the case may be.
Wait, so are
to
you
make it more
saying
appealing and stuff like that?
Are you saying that supermarkets will use
Full coloring.
unclear branding in order to upsell a lower cut of product in order to not fall off the market?
No, but basically what he's saying, like, if you look at Kraft singles is not cheese. It's
Right.
cheese
No.
product.
Yeah, no, I was more or less being like
Yeah,
sarcastic about it.
yeah, no.
No, but he's like,
That's wild.
yes, of course. I mean,
yeah, like that's wild.
we've always known that the whole business ideology is that the TV was always $100. On Black Friday, they're gonna say that it was 120, put a slash through it,
And it's
and
100.
list it at $100,
Yeah.
and boom, you're gonna buy it for $100. It's always been up for $100.
Yep.
Right. And
It's a manipulation of. At this point, the
It's
world
also-
and technology has been around long enough that people know how the brain work, how humans work, and they look to try to
Manipulate.
influence and manipulate. That's why it's important to have individuality, stand on your own, and think for yourself.
Let's fucking go, dude.
right.
Jordan, yo,
Yes, that's good. But for all, I'm a bit older than all of you. The food supply chain is what you're talking about, like, the use of colorant or chemistry, right? In a large country like United States. But remember, don't forget that the world capital of restaurants is New York, with 27,000 restaurants. And to speak to that, you have the key word nowadays in the 21st century is traceability.
Right. Yeah.
Traceability, because traceability will let you know what the origin of, whether it's a Tajima blood line of the Wagyu beef,
Yeah.
whether it's like, this meat that was like a Trader Joe, where it comes from. It's been passed already the USDA inspection. That's why it's very big to protect us, the health department. But all the rest is open to, the only way that you'll find everything is like the more traceable a product is, the better it is. That's why, it's good that the Shmackwich has a traceability ingredients in it. That's
Right.
what makes the
Yeah.
difference.
I definitely want to know that I don't think that supermarkets, I'm sorry to say, or anybody are being nefarious. The information is there. You should want it. That's all. And like
Right.
Shmackwich is a good person to make you realize, like, because we have you do it through this experience where you don't have to think of it as educational. It's fun, right? But hey, like, this is what's in your food. You should know that. I'm not just wrapping up this sandwich and saying, here's a chopped cheese. Pay me. This is everything that you have. It's $25 for a curated experience, not for a sandwich. And therefore, the value is out of this world.
the amount of subliminal education that comes along with this is honestly really awesome. Because like I said, just sitting here alone, I've learned mad stuff, which is dope. Like I said, it's kind of, you guys kind of did put the kibosh on where I thought the legend of the chopped cheese started, but still good to know these things. As far as what do you think, we were speaking on subliminal education like a week or two ago, as far as like the person that was doing like OnlyFans in regards to giving church sermons and like how the two could, now do you find you can have the same capability with food? Like you're like, oh man, this is really delicious. Well, good. Let me tell you what's in it.
Yeah.
And then that person from that point, that's awesome, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of like people actually, how can I put it? Like question not like your ingredients, but maybe your ingredients, but like how it like the sandwich came together or like where things came from, like how you have the information of the bloodline of the Wagyu and all that. Like, do people actually ask you that, or is that just something that you just offer up to inquisitive minds that they may just give you a little spark?
I feel like people also question
Nice.
it without questioning it directly.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, oh, depending on the
Why?
inflection,
Yeah.
$25 for a chopped cheese?
Let me tell you why.
You're suspicious. And let me tell you why you shouldn't be suspicious and why you should be happy.
that we're actually doing this, because like this is like introducing you to a whole new world of like being able to actually feel good after you eat. Like there's so many people that like they come to us for chopped cheese for lunch, right? And if you know, chopped cheese is not a lunch sandwich at the deli. You know what I'm saying? But people literally come for lunch. So it's like, you think about it, you eat this chopped cheese, you're not about to like go and feel like you need to take a nap. You're like, yo, I'm ready to go for the rest of the day. Like it literally feeds you, you know what I'm saying? And it feeds like your brain, and like, you know, you feel good. Like one thing I always like testify to is just like when you're at school, right? And you have like, you know, citywide tests, you have like a big test. They say, make sure you eat a good breakfast. They don't say study. They don't say like, you know, remember all the shit that you learned. They say, nah, eat a good breakfast, right? Eat a good meal. So that's just the whole thing. Like, you know, that meal is what's going to interact and help you to think straight. So like the fact that people could like, you know, these are people that work in like in, you know, huge industry in the building that we're in, bro. It's just like, you know, there's so many different companies that are the top operators of their industry. And you're coming to us and you're feeding yourself midway through the day. And like you're getting better at your business because now you're coming there every single day. You don't even realize why, but it's because like this burger that you just ate has like, you know, high levels of monounsaturated fats, which processes through your body better. You know what I'm saying? The animal was actually pretty happy. It had a pretty calm life. You know what I mean? Like everything that is put into it.
That goes like the, sorry to interrupt you, the tenderness and all that goes into like the emotional state of the cow.
Yeah.
Not even the tenderness,
fear
but
can
the
be
way it makes
transferred to
you
you,
feel.
bro.
The way
Fear
it makes
can
you
be
feel.
transferred.
So like, you know, okay, when you start getting into the science of it, right? The emotions of every animal is locked into its fat cells, right? So if an animal is afraid, or if it's like stressed out, if it's being picked up by forklifts and thrown around the farm, and like it doesn't get to see any like daylight, it just like sits inside of like, you know, a pen until the day it's going to the slaughter, you're gonna feel that, you know what I'm saying, neurologically inside your body and inside your mind when you eat this animal, because it's locked into the fat. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, and a lot of times when the animals don't have adequate diets, they have way more fat content, right? And like that fat content is not healthy. It's just like saturated fats. Like you just sit there. It's like sedimentary. It's like whatever this animal is going through, whatever diet that it's had, whatever psychological like, you know, journey that this animal has. Because like we think about it, like animals are things too, right? They have emotions. They feel shit. Like, you know, and now we're eating them. So you think about it, that transfers into us.
Yeah,
so
emotional
like
transference. Yeah, that's
exactly.
Yeah.
So now you think about
very old knowledge down
Yeah.
to like, you know, Native Americans and like respecting your food and what
Exactly.
you're having and using every single part of the animal. Like
that's why you have like
how
halal
did we
butchers and they
fall
pray
from
over
that?
it, and like, you know, you have like, you know, the kosher, you know, the
Yeah,
kosher,
same thing.
you know, and shit like
can pray
that.
to it.
Because like, you know, that's why even like you break it down, that's why people pray over their food. You know what I'm saying? It's because like you're putting good vibes into the food before you eat it. You're thanking this animal for giving its life. So like for us, like the reason why we wanted to be a very conscientious eating experience is because of the fact that, you know, once you could sit down and you really think about, and you're very like, you know, in the moment, like you're just locked in on eating this sandwich. You know, you're just locked in on having this meal. You have way more potential to like have a better experience with this food than if you're just like sitting there and eating just because you got to go and like get back to work. You know what I mean? But that's the beauty of this like fast food, because it gives you that ability. But now if it's done with the right ingredients and with the right intent, yeah, you can have your sandwich a little bit faster than normal, but your body is still going to be able to process it because it's not like a huge load that you have to then process. Like the enzymes in the meat and in all the ingredients are already helping your body. The fact that we use like slow processed bread is because of the enzymes that are released during the fermentation process of the bread. So like the thing about it, bread is not bad, right? What's bad is the way that bread that we use like on the market is processed. It's not a slow process. Like you think of it like human beings, like we're evolved to have bread that is slow. You know what I'm saying? Like it's sourdough. Like we're supposed to pretty much like only eat sourdough. It's supposed to be a 24-hour natural fermentation. Now, those enzymes that occur when the bread is fermenting naturally rather than like a fast process helps it to break down in your gut. It's like you have like your gut biome, which is like, you know, your the bacterial makeup of your gut. You know, it's easier when you eat sourdough. Like that interaction is like way more like simpatico. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a war inside of your gut.
Cause and effect of your mother's breast milk versus a cow's breast milk. It's not meant for you. It doesn't go down well.
Exactly. It doesn't go well with your system. So you know, it's just like it's a whole like, you know, like even with like heritage foods, right? The animals that they have are traceable back to 300 years of origin, right? A lot of the animals that are on the market now, they're hybrid animals, which means that they're mixed with a bunch of different things. Like a pig is not just a pig on the market right now.
Yeah, didn't China just genetically make a cow that makes like 30 gallons a day in milk or something like that?
Well, that's a whole that's like a whole nother story, and like that's a whole nother thing. But
I'm so happy. You have no clue. Like as far as just content is concerned, biggest thing is, bro, I'm big on conspiracy. I'm big on just outside knowledge, and he hates me for it.
Yeah,
so to hear every part of,
if you're not informed,
that's what I'm saying. Every part of like everything that y'all was saying, I'm like, yo, I'm so happy right now, bro. Like, you have no clue.
Conspiracy streets.
Yo, bro.
It's not even conspiracy. It's just like, honestly, it's just like bad practices going out of control, bro. You know what I mean? Like that's one thing.
He's the one that woke me up out of it. He's like, it's not this like evil fucking hooded organization. It's just, bro, it's in plain sight. They're telling you what they're doing, and everybody knows.
But my issue with Max is that he really thinks that there's an evil hooded organization somewhere.
It's easier to think that way than to really conceive the idea that things could be that bad.
It's not, but what I'm saying that's happening is like the broad scale of it is just like you allow people to make their own decisions.
Yeah,
and
most of the problems.
That's where it comes back. You know what I'm saying? But now, like you think about it, like
we just eat the apple off the tree, and we should.
We have a movement going on right now with like people that want things to be responsible. Like, you know, what Pascal was saying, like traceability. You know, they're holding people's feet to the fire. Where it's just like, no, you have to you have to be doing the right thing, or we're not going to patronize you. Like, you know, we're not going to come to your store. We're not going to go to your restaurant. We want better quality. Like we want, this is what we want. So it's just like a matter of like people putting a little bit more thought. Like the same thought that you put into curating your outfit, you should put into curating your meals for the day.
I was gonna say, it's funny. Education has been changing every sector of business.
Yeah.
So now people know more about food. So you can't just put together a French restaurant with French wines and say this is the best. It's from France.
Right.
People are aware of South African Stellenbosch. Why am I getting this $22 glass of Sancerre when South Africa's trying to enter the market with just as good a product at $8 a glass?
Right.
It's like, you need to care about food now. You're not going to make it in the food industry if you don't care about what you're putting on your plate and you're not thinking about the people there.
And it's the responsibility of us, the people that are like benefiting from it, the benefactors, like the restaurateurs, and like, if you want to come out and you want to do the most decadent, like, shit your pants, like macaroni and cheese, make sure that macaroni and cheese is the best. Make sure you're using great cheese. Make sure you're using good milk to make the bechamel. You're making good, you have like the best, the best products that you possibly can.
And that's synonymous with knowing what's better, not just buying what's most expensive.
That's what I was going to say.
Exactly.
The fact that you keynoted education as far as what has allowed now for a more extensive look into the field. Now, once again, my son goes to culinary school. He wants to be a chef. He's a freshman right now. I'm not going to say this, but it's locals out here. So, like, everything y'all are saying, really, I am taking to heart as well for that reason.
I mean, that's why I'm so lucky that how he had me come up. Sib has the benefit of being a chef and constantly being in and around that and being surrounded by it. I learned from, like, the School of Fire, how people learned in the fucking 1500s. Like, walk with me and watch and just learn. He brought me around all these different kinds of restaurateurs. Brought me around all these places in France, Italy. I mean, listen, me and Sib went to the best 3 Michelin star restaurant in the world. We did the chef's tasting menu with pairings. We didn't pay a single dollar. He invited us. It was on the house. Fantastic. But the best meal I've ever had in my life was in a small town in Italy with no restaurant that my father took me to meet a friend named Tiziano Grossi. And this lady who has a house, not a restaurant, we told her we're going to come eat for dinner. We're going to be 6 people. We went out all day to the beach. She spent all day going around, cultivating, grabbing her ingredients from where she needed, cooking for us all day. It was the best meal I've ever had in my life.
Yep.
To this day. My father's best meal in his life. Fucking spaghetti bolognese from a Japanese chef in Japan. Why? Because they are that thoughtful, conscientious, respectful of the entire process. That's what translated. Bro, food, everything is the same. Food, money, women, anything. If you lack effort, she will leave you. If you lack effort in your food, you will not get customers. If you lack effort in your craft in basketball, you will not advance, you will not propel, you will not stay on top, you will be a Jeremy Lin. It's like,
Damn.
Shots fired.
Bang, bang, bang.
no, I'm using keywords to be as impactful as like it's very thoughtful what I'm saying. I've seen that Jeremy Lin is trending. I see that they're talking about him. And when you're speaking, you have to be thoughtful, and that is the impactful way to get you to understand my example. That if you don't put the work, that's the difference between Kobe being Bryant and everybody else, is that when he was the best, he was still working out. He was still going to the gym. He remembered why he did it. It's that simple.
Yeah. Never get lazy. Never get complacent. That's that's the whole idea,
Yes, that's something like I said, I apply that same theory in my field now.
We will never, ever buy burgers from the supermarket.
We'll close.
I would rather close. Facts. We'd rather close than to use.
No compromising.
Yeah, no compromises. We've tried we've tried like different wagyus even. You know what I mean? Like where we're like, you know what, heritage? Nah, can't touch it. We can't. The proprietary blend. I'm just like, bro. Like when the burger hits that grill and you get that smell, I'm just like, nah. Like nothing else could touch it. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that ever came really, really close was from when we were in London. And
the shorthorn beef. Yeah,
no, not the shorthorn. The one that we got from
for the Alvaro event.
What was the
I don't know, but you went to an actual wagyu beef butcher shop.
It was a butcher shop. It's but yeah, like because the British definitely they do their thing when it comes to this beef production and stuff like that.
Really? Because you never generally hear anything good about English food.
No. Like honestly, like
similar to what we said about the Bronx, you want to keep it to yourself.
It's not English traditional food.
Really? Word on the low. England's got great food, and they just like.
What it is, it's just like it's not traditional English food, which is the best, right? It's the fact that they're a melting pot of so many different cultures, and it's the same thing that happens for New York. It's just like American food, New York food is not necessarily good, the best. You know what I'm saying?
It's the French restaurant in New York.
Yeah, exactly.
Restaurant in New York,
the Jewish bakery. You know what I'm saying? Like cats that's like making their fucking
Zuckers,
their pastrami every single day. You know what I mean? Like Russ and Daughters, and you have like the Chinese restaurant, and you have like all of this, even the Aki Deli, like. A lot of this stuff that's like classics for us, bro, is because of it's coming from Yemen, it's coming from Syria, it's coming from, like all of these different places. It's coming from Jordan, it's coming from all of these places, and it's coming here into New York. And everybody wants to be the best when they come to New York, right? So you're gonna come here and you're gonna produce the best that you ever could possibly produce. And that's what makes it. So it's the same thing with London. It's just like, you made it, right?
Well, I feel like London, as a whole. I guess maybe I was thinking about I know a lot of I work with a lot of guys who are Welsh. I work with a lot of guys who are from English towns and stuff like that. Never brag about their food. Like it's never like, oh, you guys should try this. Like, and once again, multi-pot. We work with every different thing.
It's London proper. It's London proper. It's just like you have the melting pots. You have like the shawarma. You have the donuts. You have,
I was gonna say it's bigger than that. We were already addressing culture and food. It's like, bro, a lot of places know that you're supposed to eat to fuel your body, not for it to be fucking good all the time.
All right.
It's like if you know that you're gonna have 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, make sure that 2 of them out of the day are actually good for you and make one pleasurable. And even then, I think you're being leisurely with yourself.
Right.
It's like you don't take cheap fuel and put it into your Bentley. Like you have to get premium grade fuel. That's the only way that premium vehicle is going to operate.
Yeah,
it's like exactly. There is no wee-wooing the world, bro. Like you get what you put in. It's a simple equation. It really is.
Facts.
That's well put. Where can everyone go get the Shmackwich at?
601 West 26th Street, Ali Market. Also, if you follow us on Shmackwich, you'll see all the events and collabs that we do. That's where you want to have it. That's where you get to experience the vibe in person. You want to catch us at Dumbo House making chopped cheeses where they usually serve, filet mignon. You want to catch us at out in the park with Supreme, feeding the kids, telling 8-year-olds about Wagyu. Forget y'all. Like, respectfully, I love y'all, but this new generation is being saved that much earlier on and understanding that what they eat is important.
Yeah.
That's where you got to come see us. That's where you see the effect. That's where you see that, even, people need love. People need to grow. Like, Roberta's is a huge freaking conglomerate. Don't get me wrong. But when we did our events with Roberta's, I felt like it brought like new life. Like it was real love and authenticity back in the spot.
That's where you want to be. That's where you'll meet people that you can work with, that are like-minded, that understand that you want to build and grow. Because I think that's the coolest thing about our brand is that our melting pot, our 9,000 followers, they're the web. That's New York. If you look at who follows us, they're the latest DJs in the city right now coming up. They're the latest artists right now, the latest chef, the new wave, the new change of New York. Restaurateurs are getting old. They're like 60, 70 years old. The dudes that like have a vice grip on New York and fashion and everything else. There is literally a reset happening. And you let the Fugazi people take it over, or you insert yourself and you take over.
That's exactly. That's one thing I believe in. Like, don't ever complain unless you're gonna do something
about it
to affect that change. Like,
that
you can't be on the sidelines like, yo, this shit is trash. I can't fuck with it. But you're not even like participating.
You're not even trying to make a difference.
You're
That's
just a hater at that point,
bro. Like I said, there was nothing more that hit home than you saying, because that's something I always say. People are willing to complain. People are, but what are we gonna do?
Exactly.
And even if it has nothing to socially do with me, what are they gonna do? Like, where's the idea coming out?
Environment you're littering.
That
like throw your shit in
No,
the
how are you
trash
talking about
at
the
least.
environment and you're complaining about a $25 chopped cheese? Think about it. The beef industry has way more of an effect on the planet than the plastics industry, right? 1,000 gallons of water a day to produce a pound of beef, bro. That's crazy. You know what I mean? And then, like, you think about it, the amount of greenhouse gases that these 2-ton animals fart out on a regular basis because their diet is trash, how that affects the ozone layer.
So you get rid of a few thousand cows, you could fix Flint, Michigan's water problem, you're saying?
Not even get rid of it, but just like have better practice on how your cows are being raised.
I feel bad that you
cows get water.
Yeah,
like even deforestation in Brazil is happening because of cow production. Like, you got to really think about all of these things. Like, if you really want to be like socially active or you want to be socially conscious, you have to think about all the aspects, and it could easily be solved as just paying a little bit more for the food that you're eating.
Yeah, and things should have worth. Would you want the big diamond chain that weighs 5 pounds hanging around your neck if it was $20?
But also, it's like, how could you hold that up if you're mad weak because you're eating trash food? You know what I'm saying? Those chains are heavy.
The biggest thing that you just hit me with now is that I clearly owe an apology to my cousin Tati. If you're hearing this, she had brought up the cow fart situation. I was like, shut up. That doesn't even make sense. So for you as a professional to be like, no, this is a problem, I'm like,
it's
shit.
It's a greenhouse machine, and there's more cows in Argentina than there are people. They're outnumbered 3 to 1.
Tatiana, if you're listening, my bad. Simply, I did not know.
No, it's just like, it's like a gas. It's like really like, it's like hazardous gases coming out of these cows' butts.
So Max, as it came from before, you guys, you two doing a great job. It all comes down to education.
Yes.
How are you going to educate your son that goes to culinary institute? And, everybody out there that's watching
Get
Netflix,
him into a kitchen as early as possible.
Oh, dude, that's all he does.
Yeah, good.
He's a beast. And then, like I said, now he's at the age, he's just 14. He's a beast.
He makes some jerk chicken at the barbecues. His jerk chicken.
He's a beast.
I'm like, yo, you're supposed to be the old auntie with the big bicep.
Yeah, like, why do you have elbows? You're not supposed to have elbows.
Yeah, his jerk chicken is not supposed to taste that good. He's supposed to have an attitude and not give me more gravy.
Hair on your arm?
The one thing I love is that seeing that, and it's cool, man, just because, like I said, when you see someone who's younger with passion, you got to wonder how much of that is kind of just blind passion at that point. It's like you like something, it's going
the direction, the tutelage is what'll shape all of that.
But seeing the cultivation of it, like seeing two people who are my age, like seeing the cultivation of what happens when you go down this road, like it's such like a dope, inspiring thing that I'm sitting here and I'm just like, yo, man, just get him into a kitchen, bro. We found that is his thing he likes, so we nurture that.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Great. And it becomes kind of an issue, though. I'm not gonna lie to you, when we have a small kitchen and I come home and there's dishes.
He's making sabayons and
bruh. And then the worst thing is, like, you walk in as a parent, you're like, bro, what is this? And he's like, yo, chill, just try this. I'm like, yo, what the? And then you have it and you go, fuck it, I'll wash the dishes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't,
That's
got
key. That's why chefs have good food, is because they don't want to wash dishes.
But I do want to say this, and because I feel like I wish you would have known this, and I'm going to tell you, you gotta not be afraid to shoot. Like, don't close the world off to yourself. And what I mean by that is that the 2 Michelin star restaurant that I'm working at is hiring people and putting them on the line at like prep and garde manger stations, fucking 19 out of the CIA.
Yeah.
You get to have that experience
Wait. Time out.
Immediately.
Wait. Out of the CIA, like the government agency
No,
CIA?
Bro, you see my face too. I was like,
CIA.
wait, there's more going on?
Institute of America.
Okay. I'm like, wait. The CIA got chefs? Like,
Me too. I was like, yo,
I know they
really
sell
need
crack,
bread?
but-
Like,
Pretty sure they do have chefs.
Oh,
Any industry that you could
They sell crack, so
any
they might
industry
have
you
chefs.
could influence people or like silently kill somebody. I think that the CIA.
oh, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, there's definitely CIA chefs.
But no,
100%.
so basically what I'm trying to say is that, like, yo, these kids are, on their resume immediately, I'm a cook at a 2 Michelin star restaurant.
that's
You know how
that.
far that propels you?
Oh, I can imagine.
That on your resume just gotta automatically. It's like it boosts you
Me and
100%.
Sibby the other day, we went to school. I definitely want to shout out the school if anybody could, like, look at them. What was it? Food and Finance
Yes.
on the west side.
Yeah.
Kids in high school from 14 to 18 greeted us at the door, suited and booted, maitre d'. What is your name? We have your table. Bring us to the table. Table
Yeah, it was really
completely
nice.
Set. Menu on the place card. Waitress came over, took our order. Our whole meal, 3 courses, put on by high schoolers.
Yeah.
Non-alcoholic cocktail pairings. They know how to do this at 14 to 18 years old. They have a skill that they can make anywhere from $50,000 to $120,000 immediately out of high school.
Legitimately,
people
and
are
they
going
can
to
travel the
college to
world
get
too.
$50,000 to $60,000 a year salary jobs.
Word.
We need to flip the script, bro. We need electricians. We need.
Thank you, bro.
We need people that do things, and honestly, that's how you pay for your life. You don't pay for your life by
Facts.
That's why they make you believe that there's a rat race, because they only present to you the vehicles they want you to participate in, because you will fail and join the system. If you're trying to be an NBA player, when the chances are, you're more likely to get hit by lightning and win the lottery in the same day
Then get drafted.
than you are to get drafted. Why would you not commit to telling yourself that, I want to live a good life? Not a rich life, let me first reach the plateau of a good life, and then aim your propensity higher if you want to.
It's like the aim for the stars, but if you miss, you still aim for the moon. But if you miss, you still among those stars. Yeah.
But not even make sure you can get to the stars first. I don't think that expression fully covers what if you land in
The stars are
the
further
first
away.
stratosphere? What if you don't break the sonic sound
The stars,
barrier?
the stars are further away though.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Millions of light years away.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm just fucking.
It's true.
But it's true though. But still, what it is like human beings, we're naturally service, we like to serve people.
Mm-hmm.
We're also very social people. They say that there's studies that show that the more social your environment is, the longer your life expectancy ends up being. It doesn't matter if you're rich or whatever the case may be. It's about if you're if you socialize, as older the people
Makes
get older.
me think of Japan and respecting your elders,
in the
and that they're
Mexican
the
community,
matriarch of the house, and everybody
bro.
feeds into the family and the home as opposed to.
Exactly, so that being the case, get into the service industry. It's not something for you to be, I'm glad that, there are they have trade schools for culinary programs where you're teaching kids how to be, of service to other people, because that's super important. As things become more technological, you need to still have that human element that you could pretty much just that you have, that's unchangeable. I'm glad that that's one of the things that didn't happen with the automation of kitchens where they were trying to sell you get a machine to flip your burger and to drop your fries. You need somebody that's gonna be there to drop your fries, flip your burger, season it, salt it. That makes a huge difference. You know what I mean? And that whole thing, that whole process for kids to be able to get into it earlier on, and even as you get older, even if you go to school and you're on a fast track to be in corporate America or whatever the case may be, and you're just what, fuck it, I don't want to do this. I want to do something that matters. You know what I mean? I want to be in the kitchen and talk shit with the homies and create some dope shit that I could get on the menu.
Change.
Yeah, facts.
When I was a maitre d' manager at Balthazar, I would see 1,000 people a day, personally, interaction. Me and one person.
Yeah.
We did 1,000 covers today. That means I've interacted with all of you and sat through myself. I've come around and checked the tables. I've had exchanges with phone cards, phone numbers, whatever may have you. I did that 5 days a week for 3 years. I've met almost 1 million people personally, me myself.
Yeah, definitely.
And had an
Word.
influence on them and made
Facts.
them realize something. It's people
And
need
vice
to.
versa,
That's why I
too.
think perspective is the most powerful tool. Like
Yo,
I have
say it again, bro.
platinum numbers of impact because I'm looking at it that way. I don't need to
Facts.
receive a plaque from anybody. I don't need to be shown it on a piece of paper. I know that I've interacted with millions of people living here in New York, being myself, spreading, happiness, positivity, and that shit rubs off on people, and they do it too. And that's how you fix the world. You fix yourself, and then the person next to you when you get there. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Shit.
Yo, man.
Yo, with all that being said,
Bro, thank you guys, man. No, yo,
thanks for
dead ass.
having us.
Thank you,
I would
dude.
definitely like to thank y'all for coming and showing us some love.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Platform
Thank
for
you.
inviting us.
Yo, bro.
Anytime you guys are more than welcome. Anytime y'all want to come sit down on our couch and talk some shit with us. Next time, if y'all want, we can get into some topics, talk some shit, and
Yeah, we gotta have Mitty here to talk his shit.
yeah, we have Mitty up here. We can talk some shit. We can get into some
Speak about his
topics.
beef with Hajis. Mitty wants to pop out with a grill in front of Harlem and hand out 1,000 shots.
Yeah, literally, something must have
What
happened.
we
He
did-
went to Haji's. It's like, yo, bro,
What we did to pod and record the whole interaction.
100%. I'll be there.
He'll be there. Gangsta on my pound. Mitty voice. Yeah.
Shit, but
Gangsta on my rock.
Overall, man, I just want to say, yo, thank y'all for what y'all doing, dude. Like I
and
said,
thank
it's so
y'all for what
nice
y'all
to
doing,
see
definitely.
something with the dope impact that actually has like a cool message that's like a real message. Like y'all are really doing it, bro. Thank y'all. I
Thank you.
appreciate that, man.
Thank you,
And
man.
that is, don't forget to subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Conspiracy
baby.
Streets Podcast.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, if you subscribe to the Patreon and you come to the Shmackwich to show me, you got 10% off on your sandwich.
Did you heard it right
Yeah.
there?
Respect.
Conspiracy Streets Podcast.
Till next time.
Conspiracy Streets Podcast.